A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. 4 young hoodlums wanted for a series of robberies are headed for your city. They're armed, reckless, cold-blooded. Your job, get 'em.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So, enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Friday, December 10th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 7:55 a.m. when I got to room 27A, robbery detail. Morning.
Hi, Joe.
Morning.
Hi, Joe. Cold out, isn't it?
Frank, what are you doing here this early? Can't you sleep?
I'm waiting for something. Special delivery letter from my brother.
Went up in Frisco with the police department?
Yeah. Only up there they don't like it when you call it Frisco.
Yeah.
He's in robbery detail. Called him last night. All 3 kids had their tonsils out the same day. Thought it'd be nice to call, see how they were.
All 3 at once.
Yeah.
Tonsils are nothing these days.
How'd they make out?
Good. Home already.
What's the letter got to do with it?
Oh, well, my brother told me he was sending down some dope on 4 pretty rough characters. Thinks they're headed our way. Sending mugshots, too.
You and your brother running a detective agency on the side?
It's a little irregular. The official correspondence will come a little later.
What do you know about the guys?
Almost killed a man. I didn't get any details. It's all in the letter. Ought to be here any minute. Mailed it at noon yesterday.
How come you moved down here with your family, Frank? Don't you like it up north?
Well, I like L.A. better. More elbow room. Here you live in a house and lot, not just an apartment.
I get it. Robbery, Friday.
Miss Wilson. Tony Shop is there, Joe?
Yeah, I think so. Hold it, will you? Tony here?
Huh?
Oh, I didn't see him behind that paper.
For me?
Yeah, he's here.
Well, if he's not busy, ask him to come over to order that. Especially a couple of Mexican girls who can't speak English.
I guess we can spare him for a while. I'll tell him. What's up? Well, that's Wilson in auto detail. He'd like you to go over and act as interpreter for a couple of Mexican girls.
Are they pretty?
You're not going down there to marry him.
I'll bet you wow I'm at parties.
Yes. Nothing much doing. Slow day. They don't come often enough for me.
If they did, we'd be out of a job. It was one of those rare slow days. I killed a couple of hours going over the daily reports, cleaned out the top drawer of my desk, sharpened a few pencils. At 10:15 a.m., the special delivery letter came for Frank. He slit the top open with his pocket knife and shook out 4 mud shots.
Here it is. Following 4 men wanted for robberies, auto thefts, and safe burglaries in San Francisco Bay Area. Cliff Small, 19. George Shum, 20. Both escaped from Preston. Julius Carver, 18. Fred Malik, 20. Both Army deserters.
Well, that checks out with that APB from SF last week.
What do the records look like?
Small shot an Army captain during an argument at a bar. And on 2 capers, these men shot it out with us and escaped. Information shows all 4 left for Los Angeles several days ago. Driving stolen car, blue Chevrolet, probably using cold plates.
Mm-hmm. Let me see those mug shots.
Here.
Well, now we know who we're looking for. Brother, tell us where?
Just a couple of nice girls that got mixed up with the wrong guys.
Hey, take a look at these pictures, will you, Tony?
Oh, the mugs from San Francisco.
Yeah. It says they're in a stolen car, cold plates.
That's how these girls were picked up, in a hot car.
Huh?
They went for a ride with a couple of guys they met at a movie. When the car ran out of gas, the boys dug, the girls got picked up.
Do they have a lead on the guy?
No, not a thing.
The young guys?
Around 20. You think these might be the ones from Frisco?
Well, let's talk to the girls. Come on. Frank, you want to cover the office?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Do they speak English at all?
Not enough to make sense. That's Dolores, and this one is Marie.
Sí.
Señoritas, estos señores son empleados del robbery detail. Desean hacer a ustedes algunas preguntas.
Nosotras no hicimos nada. Nada.
She says they didn't do anything.
I suppose they told you all they know already, huh?
They're not much help. They say they don't know anything about the fellows they were with.
Show them these. Ask them if they've ever seen them before.
Yeah. ¿Conocen estos individuos?
Sí. Estos son los muchachos. Sí. Sí.
These are the guys that took them out last night?
Ask them.
¿Quieren decir que estos dos son los que los llevaron anoche?
Sí, ellos son.
Carver and Malik, the Army deserters. Ask them to describe them, will you?
¿Cómo eran los muchachos?
Ya les dijimos. Estuvimos en el carro todo el tiempo. Estaba oscuro. Pero parecían muy guapos. Y hablaban bien.
She says they sat in the car all the time. It was dark. But they looked very handsome and they talked nice.
Where did the fellas pick them up?
They told me in front of the Jubilee Theater, 2nd and Broadway.
Yeah. And then what?
The girls couldn't understand English, but they understood when the boys motioned them to hop in. ¿Han aceptado ustedes paseos con extraños antes?
Por supuesto que no. María creo haberlos visto en la iglesia el domingo.
She says no. Marie thought she recognized them from church Sunday.
Pero estaba equivocada.
But she was mistaken.
Must have been some date. The boys couldn't talk Spanish and the girls couldn't talk English.
Where'd they go on this ride, Tony?
They don't know the streets. They just know they got to the beach, and then they turned around and were about halfway back when the car ran out of gas.
Ask them again. See if you can get Marie here to talk.
María.
Sí.
¿Qué camino tomaron para ir a la playa?
Yo no sé.
Ay, María. Primero, paramos cerca de un hotelito. Esperamos mientras los muchachos llevaron a un perito y lo dejaron en su cuarto.
She doesn't know, but she remembers they stopped near a little hotel. The girls waited while the boys took a little puppy out of their car and put it in their room.
A puppy?
Well, if they don't know where the hotel was, maybe they can tell us what it was near.
¿Qué edificios había cerca del hotel?
En la esquina había una estación de gasolina.
And she says there was a gas station on the corner.
What else?
¿Qué más?
Del otro lado de los rieles había 2 o 3 garajes.
2 o 3?
Creo que sí, 2 o 3.
She says across the car tracks there were 2 or 3 big garages.
Yeah.
Could be in the Westlake district. Lots of garages and second-rate hotels around there.
Or East 1st Street?
Maybe Grand Avenue and Pico.
Pico. Ahora me acuerdo. Esa calle era Pico.
We took the girls with us and drove out to Grand and Pico, and then up and down Pico slow until the girls pointed out a hotel just south of Flower. They weren't sure. Ben and I got out. We walked up to the hotel desk. The clerk was just starting to vacuum.
We're looking for Julius Carver and Fred Malik. Are they staying here?
What's the names? Can't hear you over the vacuum.
Julius Carver and Fred Malik?
No, not here.
Police officers. You take a look at these pictures?
Well, could have been 2 of the boys that checked out this morning, but they didn't look as tough as this.
How many were there?
4.
Here are 2 more pictures. You have a look, please?
Could be. About the right age.
How long did they stay?
Just 2 nights.
Did they have a pup with them?
What?
I said they have a pup with them.
Puppy dog? Yes, they did. Yes, sir. A little collie pup.
Did they pay up?
No, they skipped out, owing me 2 days.
Can we see how they registered, please?
Shut off this dang vacuum. Person can't hardly hear himself think over that racket. Now, you want to see the register. We use cards here.
All right, sir.
Let me see. Now, here they are. Bob Reynolds, Jack Sharp, Jim Smith, and William Grant, Las Vegas, Nevada.
I must have picked those names out of a hat.
They say where they were going?
No forwarding address.
Did they write these cards out themselves?
You bet they did. That's the law.
You mind if we borrow them for a while? We'll have them photostated and returned to you.
We're supposed to keep them, you know.
You'll get them back.
I like to do everything legal. Those boys in some kind of trouble?
They leave anything in their room?
They did. It's all in the vacuum.
If they happen to come back, give us a ring, will you? Here's our card.
Robbery detail. Who'd they rob?
They took you for 2 days' rent. It was 2 p.m. when Tony Chavez picked us up. He had Frank O'Donnell with him. We stopped at a dairy lunch, and I called the office, and we split up into 2 teams. While Tony and Frank checked parking lots in the neighborhood for stolen cars, Ben and I ran down the other hotels. In the next 3 hours, we talked to a dozen desk clerks and rooming house managers. Always the same answer, no. 5:30 p.m., we tried the Achilles Hotel on Grand Avenue. We walked into an overheated lobby crowded with modern furniture. There were a couple of canary cages in front of the faded wall tapestries. The desk clerk was a woman in her early 40s.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Police officer.
Police officer. Walter! Walter, will you see what these policemen want?
Well, just take a minute. We'd like to know if you recognize these pictures here.
No.
This one?
No. No, we only take in honest, hard-working men.
Sure.
I don't like anybody lazing around the rooms all day. It keeps me from cleaning up.
If your room has got a collie pup.
A dog? I'd die before I'd allow a dog in this house.
Well, if these fellows with a dog try to rent a room, would you please phone us? Here's the number.
Millie. Now, get on back in there, honey, where it's nice and warm. Go on, Millie. Go on. Millie's on the nest now.
Yes, ma'am. We'd appreciate you watching for these men.
For your own protection, too.
No, I'll let you know.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's go
Oh,
back.
say, before you go, would you gentlemen do me a favor seeing as how you're policemen?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Marinelli up in room 14's a week behind in his rent. Would you do me a favor and go up and talk to him?
I'm sorry, lady. We can't handle that. That's a civil matter. I'd advise you to go to room 260 and out to City Hall. See the city attorney. They'll help you.
Walter, what'd I tell you? They won't do it.
That's the way it went. It was dark out now and getting cold again. We walked back to Pico and Flower to pick up Frank and Tony. Tony was there waiting for us.
Hi. Come on up to the next corner. Frank's up there. We got a hot car staked out.
Yeah?
Just half a block from the hotel where the guys checked out. You had any luck?
No.
Did you find anything in the car?
Key's still in it, nothing else.
Well, they could have stolen it last night after they left the girls, huh?
I called in and checked. It was taken in front of 1192 Doheny Drive between 2 and 4 this morning. We got out a code for it.
Mm-hmm. That's about 6 blocks from where they ditched the car with the girls in it.
Yeah, we're out of gas. It's all downhill. Would have been the natural way for them to go.
Could be the right car. Better keep the stake out.
Well. Oh, hi, Frank.
Hi. You do any good?
No.
Frank, if you and Tony want to go eat, and Ben and I'll cover the car. When you get back, we'll go for chow.
Good deal.
Swell.
So long. Well, let's sit in the car, huh?
Yeah, all right.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Get the radio on.
Want a cigarette?
No. What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe it's the same guys, maybe not.
Same neighborhood. A couple of things might tie in. Yeah, can't be sure.
We're really making headway. About all we know is they're in town.
Yeah, and it's a good-sized town.
Right now, it's the biggest in the world. 7 p.m. We knew the 4 gunmen were in town. We knew they'd been seen. We figured there was no reason for them to skip town until they pulled a job or heard that we were looking for them. Time was in their favor. Time to rob, time to kill, time to get away. The check on the hotels continued. We left Frank O'Donnell and Tony Chavez on the stakeout, and Ben and I picked up the hotel routine. One place after another. 8:30 p.m. We walked down a long, narrow lobby to a little bald-headed man at the desk. He was wearing glasses and reading a magazine called Astrology. When we walked in, he tried to hide the bottle.
Police officer.
Oh. Would you take a look at these pictures, please?
What for?
See if you can identify them.
No.
They don't look familiar to me.
They may be carrying a collie pup.
Collie pup? Let me see those pictures again.
All right. They look familiar now?
They had a pup with them, all right. Yes, I think so. I study faces. Yes, the same.
Are they here?
I don't know.
Mean they're out for the evening?
I don't know.
Are they registered here?
Yes, they are.
What room?
Are they expecting you?
Now, listen. This is important. Just answer the questions.
What did they do?
What's their room number?
Second floor, room 22.
You have the key?
Just a sec. Here.
Thank you. Come on, Ben. Cover me, huh?
Yeah.
22. Give me the key. Watch it. Well, maybe we're home.
Clothes, shoes, all their stuff's here.
They'll be back.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to an actual police case. Here, step by step, are the reasons why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers from coast to coast.
Step 1.
The name Fatima has always stood for the best in cigarette quality.
Step 2.
Long cigarette smokers discover Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Step 3.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima extra mild. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild.
And that's why more and more smokers every day agree
it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Yes, the name Fatima on that gold and yellow package is your insurance of an extra mild smoke.
So enjoy king-size Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
In the files of the Los Angeles Police Department, there are countless case histories that never got space in the daily newspapers. The case of Cliff Small, George Shum, Julius Carver, and Fred Malik was one of these. 4 young hoodlums wanted for a series of robberies and petty burglaries. These men were armed, and they'd shown that they wouldn't hesitate to shoot. By comparison with the sensational crime headline, the news value of this story rated an inch of type on the 4th page of the 2nd section. Yet the line separating these 4 young thieves from banner headlines and back page space is much thinner than the average citizen realizes. The danger in a criminal case isn't always determined by the space allotted to it in the newspapers. Many a peace officer's name has appeared in the obituary column of the same newspaper that allotted 1 inch of back page space to the crime story that was considered unimportant. I phoned the office and asked for 2 men to cover the stolen car. As soon as the replacements arrived, Frank O'Donnell and Tony Chavez left the stakeout on the stolen car and joined us at the hotel. It was 8:55 p.m.
When do they due back? Any idea?
No, sir. I told these other officers. I did tell you, didn't I?
Yeah, you said they were out for the evening.
That's it. I knew I told you something. Was it you two? Or was it you two?
It was this fella and I.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember things I say so good, but I know faces, things.
Are you the manager here?
Oh, no. This place belongs to Claude.
Claude who?
Tinney.
Then you're in charge now.
Only when Claude's not around. This is one of his places.
Where are we going to stake out, Joe? Not enough room to turn around in this lobby.
That's what I've been telling Claude. Claude Tinney. This is one of his places.
Yeah, maybe you better leave that bottle alone till we get this straightened out, huh?
Oh, no. I don't hit it heavy anymore. Just a little nip now and again. Drafty in here.
Any idea where we can wait for these fellas and keep an eye on the lobby?
No, not enough room in this lobby to turn around in. I've said that to Claude.
Yeah, we know.
Hey, clerk, where does this door lead to?
No, don't go in there.
There's a light in here?
I save old bottles. Ragman gives me a penny each for them.
Is that a storage room?
What's that?
That room over there.
Oh, that's the linen room. We keep all the linen there.
That's about the only place there is, Joe. If we want to wait out in the car.
All right, we'll wait in there.
There's a couple of chairs in there. I'll send the boys back when they come in.
Be better if you tell them nothing.
How are they going to know you're here?
We'll tell them. You just don't say anything.
All right, sir. Now then, if I can just have your names, I'll see that the boys get the message.
Now, look, mister. You just sit there and read your magazine. Don't say anything. You got that?
Okay. That's the way you want it.
Come on, let's go. What's that smell in here?
Bleach, I think.
Strong.
What time is it?
Can't see.
Frank, you got a luminous watch.
9:28.
Evening, Mac.
Evening, Mr. Sweeney.
Give me an 8 o'clock call.
Yes, sir.
Right.
All right.
That smell's giving me a headache. Air's bad in here.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can get you, gentlemen?
No, you just stay at the desk, will you, please?
Say, Claude Tinney's his name. He's the manager. Remember you asked me about that?
Yeah, we know.
What do you want him for?
Look, you're going to have to stay away from this door. We don't want them to know we're here.
Okay. That's the way you want it.
I could use a cigarette.
Yeah.
All we need in here now. Smoke.
What time is it, Frank?
Oh,
Never mind. That's it. There's two of them. Ben, you come with me. Frank, Tony, stay here.
right.
All right. We're checking out tomorrow.
It's Carver and Malik. Let's go, Ben.
Yeah, come on.
All right, get your hands up.
Hey, what's going on?
Stand still.
Okay. What's the beef?
Frisk 'em.
There's a .380 automatic on Carver. 38 caliber revolver in this hip pocket. Another 38 on Malik.
Don't hold it.
That's it. Put out your hand. Let me have your cuff, Joe.
Here you go. Where are your pals?
What pals?
Cliff Small and George Shum. We know you're running with them.
You know that? You know where they are?
How old are you?
18.
What's your name?
Fred Mallett. 20.
Tony.
Yeah.
You and Frank want to take them downtown?
Right. We'll see you down there. Let's go, Frank.
Say, you got him, huh?
Got two of them. We're going to wait for the other two now. You just play it straight and stay away from that linen room.
How long are you going to be in there? Chambermaid starts making up the beds around 7 a.m. You'll have to be getting out that linen in there.
It's only 10:30. Lots of time.
We change the sheets 3 times a week in this hotel.
Not a worry in the world.
Let's get back in there.
I know what that smell is in here. Lysol.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that pup.
That'll be the tip-off.
I'll go get him. All right, come on, little fella. Here we go. Come on, boy.
He's hungry, Joe.
Yeah, but I'll put him down on the floor. Don't step on him. Yeah, what do you want?
Are you going to wait for the other 2 boys?
Yeah, will you get away from the door?
Say, I want to help you all I can.
Yeah.
That fuzzy little pup of theirs, he's running all around the lobby.
Yeah, we've got him in here.
Yeah, you better go out there and get him. He's barking. It'll tip him off.
Yeah, all right. Now go on back to the desk.
All right, then. You stay in here. I'll see if I can catch him.
He comes around here again, he'll have to wait in here.
Can you see your watch?
No?
Must be around 11.
Yeah, must be.
clerk again. Yeah.
Say, listen. I've been all over the lobby. You fellas are in the clear.
What do you mean?
That dog of theirs. He's gone. You're in the clear.
Look, he's in here with us. Now, will you stay away from here, please?
Yeah, it's okay. The dog's gone.
Hey, Pop, give me the key for room 22.
Yes, sir.
That's their room. Come on.
Yeah. Get your hands up. Watch him, Joe.
Wait a minute, you.
You hold it.
Get your hands
Come
off
on,
me.
get your hands up.
No. Oh. You didn't have to slap me.
You didn't have to pull that gun. All right, now over here. Stand still. 38 revolver on this one. Here it is, 45 Colt. What's your names?
I'm Cliff Small. He's George Shum.
How old are you?
19. Cops?
We weren't. You've been in a lot more trouble than you are.
That's all of them.
Yeah. Now let's feed that pup. 12:15 a.m. We took the prisoners down to the city hall to the interrogation room. Tony Chavez and Frank O'Donnell were there with the other two, Carver and Malik. While Ben helped question the suspects and made out the necessary reports, I went across the street to the Federal Cafe. I picked up 2 10-cent bottles of milk and a few slices of bread.
Look at him go. He was hungry.
Yeah. How'd you come out?
Well, I got it all here. Let's see. 4 stolen cars, 8 known robberies in San Francisco they copped out to. 3 jobs in Portland they admitted. You remember that Bakersfield liquor store holdup about 4 weeks ago?
A Watson job? They pull that?
Yeah, probably a lot more. They haven't told us all of it yet.
Got out an APB. We'll probably get a lot more wants on them.
Well, that's it. None of them are even old enough to vote yet, but they've committed practically every crime in the book.
Just one thing more left to work out. What do we do with the pup?
How about the SPCA? They'll find a home for him.
No, not this little guy.
Why don't you take him, Tony? You got kids.
You got a deal.
Aquí, Perito.
Tu madre era cole, pero de hoy en adelante eres perro policía. Translation. Your mother was a collie, but from now on you're a police dog.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On February 9th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 88, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, king-size Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Long cigarette smokers find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima. Best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Clifford Small, George Shum, Julius Carver, and Fred Malik were released to San Francisco authorities where they were tried and convicted on 8 counts of robbery in the first degree. A hold was placed on them by the state of Oregon. They are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police, W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet from Los Angeles.
Tomorrow, hear the Ronald Coleman's charming series, The Halls of Ivy, on NBC.
Jerry, come here. I want to... Oh, George, you shouldn't have walked between Jerry and me.
Oh, I'm sorry, fellas.
Wolfie, it's your bread and butter, Dan.
Bread and butter.
What goes up in the chimney?
Smoke.
What do you smoke?
Chesterfield.
Right, and that's our bread and butter.
Which means that Chesterfield, the only cigarette in America to give you premium quality in both regular and king size, brings you the Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis Show. Listen, Chesterfield, by Chesterfield regular acting night. See the way the best of smoke. There's possible smoke for all you folks. Round off for Chesterfield, round off for Chesterfield.
And do it today.
As now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring you our master of ceremonies, Dean Martin.
Well, hi there, everybody. Here it is. Time to do our weekly Tuesday night sounding off for Chesterfield. My partner, Jerry Lewis, will be bounding in on the next pogo stick. So while we're waiting for the boisterous little bounder, what do you say we start things humming with a tuneful little earful of music? So, Richard, it is you is or is you ain't my conductor. Is you is all that you ain't my baby. The way you're acting lately makes me down. You is still my baby, baby. Seems my flame in your heart's done gone out. A woman is a creature that has always been seen. Just when you're sure of one, you find she's gone. Made a change. Oh, if you is all, if you ain't my baby. Maybe baby found somebody new. Or is you ain't, or is you is my baby. Thank you, folks, and right now...
Shut the window, lock the door, they're after me, they're after me.
Oh, it's Jerry Lewis. All right, now, Jerry, you just calling yourself down. Now, who's after you?
The finance company, they want to take back my arm.
Oh, now, wait a minute. What makes you think the finance company wants to take back your arm?
I missed 2 payments on my vaccination.
Oh! You know, Jerry, I find out new things about you every day. I know all about the 6 years we've worked together, but what about your childhood?
Well, when I was born, I was very young. I was nothing years old. And until I was 5 years old, I couldn't see.
Couldn't see?
No, my mother was nearsighted. She kept diapering the wrong end.
I imagine your father must have had some plans for your future. Tell me, Jeff, when your father first saw you, what did he want you to be?
Somebody else's son.
Besides that, what business did he want you to go into?
Same thing as my uncle.
You mean your artist uncle, the one who makes the hand-painted matzo balls?
No, Uncle Hesse. He's He's an inspector in a tiddlywink factory.
Sounds like a civil service job. An inspector in a tiddlywink factory?
Oh, he was a specialist, you understand. It was his job to decide which would a boy tiddlywink and which would a girl tiddlywink.
You mean there was a way he could tell the difference between the guys and dolls?
Oh, to be sure. As the tiddlies came down the assembly line, my uncle would wink at them.
And the tiddlies that winked back
was the girl.
I thought I'd wind up working with someone who comes from a family of tiddlywinks.
See, Martin, you've insulted my family, and we Lewises don't take these things lightly. We're a proud clan, and I therefore challenge you to a duel. You may choose your own field of honor.
But, Jerry, I don't have any field.
Then we're even. I don't have any honor. Here's my card.
Your card? What's this thing here?
That's the family coat of arms. 2 cross salamis on a field of chopped liver.
Now, look, Jerry, you don't mean a real duel with pistols, do you?
Wait. Do you understand? We shall meet tomorrow morning at dawn. And if I'm not there by 6 o'clock,
Yeah?
start without me.
Yeah, you must be kidding about all this.
Hardly, Mr. Martin. We shall settle this insult in blood. I'm going now.
Where?
To get some.
I'll be seeing you.
What?
I said I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you.
In every lovely summer's day.
And everything that's light and gay.
I'll always think of you that way.
I'll find you in the morning sun. And when the night is through,
I'll be looking at the moon.
I'll be Well, friends, you know there's nothing quite so blue as the blues when they're set to music. But when a songwriter stirs up the usual blues and throws in a few sentimental wedding bells for good measure, he's liable to have cooked up one of the season's top-hit blue ballads. And here it is. I went to your wedding. I was dreading the thought of losing you. The organ was playing. My poor heart kept saying, your dreams were true. Your mother was crying. Your father was crying. And I was crying too. The teardrops were falling because we were Mr. Lewis.
As you recall, you have insulted my family, and I challenge you to a duel. However, we'll have to call off the duel because of something I just found out.
What is that?
I'm a coward.
Well, it's just as well we called it off, Jeff. If we didn't, we might have been arrested. After all, we have laws in this country. And tonight, I've invited as our guest a star who is a staunch supporter of law enforcement on his own shows. Dynamic young personality of radio and TV, the star of Dragnet, Jack Webb. Jerry, this is Jack Webb from Dragnet TV.
Well, how do you do? I'm Jerry Lewis from Newark, NJ.
No, Jerry, I'm from the television show Dragnet.
Oh, I saw you last week on a new set Dean gave me for Christmas.
Jerry, that wasn't a TV set I gave you. It was a washing machine.
No wonder the cops and robbers were chasing each other in their underwear.
I'm sorry you missed the real thing, Jerry. It was the story of a policeman who guarded the catch of the fishing fleet.
Yeah, it was called the Cape Cod Kipper Keeper Cooper Caper.
The Cape Cod Kipper Keeper Cooper Caper?
You heard him there, the Cape Cod Kipper Keeper Cooper Caper.
Now, the villain was a camper named Cooper who worked in a bottle factory. First as a corker, then as a capper. Yeah, you see, the fishing boat was a clipper, and the thief was killed in the church steeple. There was a big bell up there, and he was clobbered with a clapper.
Oh, the Cape Cod Clipper.
What, Jerry?
We couldn't get Sam's pay?
No. I invited you here to see if you could help me. After all, we have something in common. Our sponsor.
Yeah, that's right, Dean. On Dragnet, I work for Chesterfield, and on your show, you work for Chesterfield.
That's right, Jerry. We're both working for Chesterfield.
Sometimes I wish we were working for money.
Now, Jack, here's my problem. Jerry tells me to a duel, and, well, I'd sure hate to put a bullet between his eyes.
Well, that's impossible, Dean. Between his eyes, there ain't room for a bullet.
Because I have a very skinny head.
Yes. Jerry, look, we have laws against dueling, same as we have laws against speeding. A car can be a very dangerous weapon.
I'll say, yesterday I was crossing the street when I saw a car coming at me. I ran up 3 flights of stairs into my apartment, rushed into the closet, and locked the door.
What happened?
He got me anyway.
A thing like that calls for at least a ticket.
It did. I paid a $10 fine.
You paid a fine for what?
Running without a license.
Well, that's terrible, Jerry. What happened to the driver of the car that hit you?
Nothing, Dean, but he won't get away.
Well, you mean you got his number?
No, but I'll never forget his laugh.
You'll never forget his laugh.
Pardon me, sir. Would you do that again?
Certainly.
Mr. Webb, would you please get your car out of my closet?
Stop it, Jerry. If anyone looks out for public safety, it's Jack Webb. Millions of people listen to and watch his show every week.
Well, thanks, Dean, but it's the kids I'd like to reach. Unfortunately, most of them are only interested in fairy tales.
Well, tonight, why don't you do a fairy tale as you would do it on your Dragnet show?
Well, that's swell. I'd like to, but I'm not prepared.
We are. Fenneman, come here, you old hound dog.
The Chesterfield much milder players bring you king-size Dean Martin and Jack Webb with regular-size Jerry Lewis. In a hastily rehearsed play about the 3 bears, our version of Dragnet concerns a blonde moll called Goldilocks, who woke up with not one curl of her golden tresses out of place. And it's entitled Hairnet.
This is the city. There's nothing around here but chipmunks, rabbits, trees, forests. This is the city. My name's Friday. I'm a cop. I wear yellow shoes, an Argyle beret, a plaid coat with satin lapels. I'm a plainclothesman.
Friday's younger brother. My name is Thursday. I'm a cop, too. All day long, I pound the beat. I make my own board.
I'm Friday's older brother. My name is a week from Tuesday. I'm a special agent for the Crime Commission. For every crime, I get a 10% commission.
Hello, Homicide. Thursday speaking. No, Saturday and Sunday are gone for the weekend. What's that? I'll get the police microphone. Calling all cars, calling all cars, calling car 84, Officer Farmkist. Wipe your windshield. Someone is stealing your radiator cap. That is all.
Morning, Third.
Hi, Fry.
Anything new in the Three Bears case? They found out who tasted the little bear's porridge yet and made it all gone?
No, but I brought in our chief suspect, Goldilocks. I talked to her alone for an hour.
Does she know anything?
She does now.
Hi, Fry. Hi, Thurs.
Hi, week from June.
I just found a body out in the street.
Good. You may keep it for your honor.
But it was Goldilocks.
Goldilocks?
Yeah, she was found wearing a derby and slacks.
Well, at least she died like a man.
Here's the hospital report on Father Bear. He's dead. They just performed the autopsy.
What'd he die from?
The autopsy.
Hello? Homicide, Friday speaking. No, hi, Wednesday. Okay. Mama Bear's been murdered, too. She was pushed into a freezing vat at the popsicle factory.
Look, a report's coming in on the teletype. It's about the baby bear. It happened again.
You mean somebody tasted his porridge?
Worse than that. Somebody pinched his pizza.
Sounds like the work of a Maroon gang. Let's go to the bear's house and investigate.
So we climbed into the car and I got behind the wheel. I knew we were heading for trouble. I can't drive. It was really very foggy, so I followed the white line on the road. I drove for 20 miles, and then I found out what I was following wasn't a white line. It was a good humor truck with its vanilla leaking.
When we got to the bear's house, I peeked through the keyhole with one eye. I saw something very strange with my other eye. While I was peeking, someone wrapped the door around my head. In here, Furs, and week from. This is where the bears live.
How do you know this is the place where the bears live?
Well, look what's on the floor, a people skin rug.
And there's little baby bear. He's been murdered.
Yeah. His body's in a strange position. His back is arched and his legs are sticking up in the air. How do you figure it, Thurs?
Obvious. He was beaten to death with a contour chair.
Wait a minute. Are we sure this is the baby bear? There was something strange about the corpse. I checked the bear's fur more closely. It wasn't a bear at all. It was a mink-dyed halibut. I thought I smelled something fishy. Yeah, well, the killer must still be here. The body's still warm.
It should be. It's on the stove.
For a moment, I thought I had it. I'll tell you what. You examine the body for a bullet and then check with ballistics.
What's the ballistic?
Well, I don't know, but on Dragnet we always say that.
Oh.
I'll search the closets for the killer. Nobody there. Nobody there. Nobody there.
searched high and low, but there were no more jokes left in the house, so we decided to search the barn. It's awful dark in this barn.
Well, hold my hand, sirs.
Okay, Fry.
Hey, Fry. Fry, where are you?
I'm over here.
And whose fingers am I holding?
Hey, I think I got the killer here.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. I'll confess.
Who are you?
My name's Cooper.
Oh, you're the camper from the Cape Cod Tipper Keeper Cooper Keeper.
Yeah, the fellow who works in the bottle factory as a corker and a capper. No, I used to. Now I work in a rug factory as a carpet clipper.
A carpet clipper? I'm letting you go.
You're letting the killer go? Why?
It's easier than having to say this is the Cape Cod Camper Cooper Corker Capper Capper Carpet Clipper Keeper Capper Cooper Caper Partner.
You did a swell job. You can sing for me anytime.
Thanks, Jack, and you can guess for us any time, too. How about that, Jerry?
Splendid, old chap, splendid.
Say, look, how about you boys having lunch with me sometime?
Love to.
Not me. I went to a restaurant today, ate a businessman's lunch, and was thrown out.
You were thrown out for eating a businessman's lunch? Why?
The businessman wanted to eat it himself.
Look, Jack, I know you've got to be shoving along now, but don't forget your job, you know. Get him.
Yes, sir. Get everybody to change to Chesterfield. Friends, Dean, Jerry, and I wouldn't ask you to try Chesterfield if we didn't know Chesterfield is best for you.
That's because they're first to give you scientific evidence on the effects of smoking.
And that's because only Chesterfield gives you premium quality in both regular and king size.
That's right, folks. Chesterfield is best for you. Regular or king size. They give you all the pleasure the modern cigarette can give.
So your job, get them. Get Chesterfield today.
Well, so long, boys. It was swell being here. Good night.
Good night, Jack, and thank you so much. Jack Webb.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. Attempts have been made on the life of a notorious hoodlum in your city. His death could mean an open gang war. Your job, stop it.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette, which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild. Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, July 18th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 5:35 p.m. when we got out of the car at Sunset Boulevard and Paris Avenue and walked down the street to the scene of the machine gunning, Lupo's Cafe.
Look at that, Joe.
Yeah.
Lift out the whole front of the place.
Yeah. Hi.
Yes, sir.
Romero and Friday, homicide.
Oh, I'm Sheldon from Hollywood Division. Taylor and I picked up the call in our car. Nobody hurt.
What's the story?
Just a second. It's Captain Elliott. Hold it a minute, will you, Sheldon?
Hi.
Hi, Captain.
Not much of it left.
Sheldon here was in the cruiser car. He'll fill us in.
All right.
The intended victim was Gus Valentine. He's over there with Taylor, my partner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
According to Valentine, he stopped in the restaurant here for a drink. He was in there about 15 minutes, came out to hail a cab, and this car came around the corner. Down there, Sunset and Clayton. They whipped by close to the curb and opened up.
Mm-hmm. There's like a laundry there on one side of the place and a dry cleaning joint on the other side.
Yes, sir. Miracle, but nobody was hit.
You get anything on the car?
Nothing so far. Happened so fast, nobody got a good look at it.
How about Valentine? Does he have any ideas?
I don't know. Taylor's getting the information.
Nobody saw anything? Any witnesses?
Yes, sir. A couple. Newsboy Tim Benson, the lady in the dry cleaning place, Agnes Rebart.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them got a license number.
Okay. I'd like to talk to Valentine.
Sheldon, keep the area clear, will you? Lab men are on their way out.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Oh, I told you I haven't any idea.
Green Fort's it in, Edit?
Yeah.
Elliott, Central Homicide.
Yes, sir. This is Mr. Valentine, the intended victim.
Yeah. This is Sergeant Friday, Sergeant Romero.
Sergeant Friday, how are you?
Fine. It's been a long time.
Finally got out of the uniform, huh?
7 years ago. Who was it, Gus?
If I knew, I'd tell you. I don't like being shot at.
Let's go sit in the car. This way, Valentine.
You want to get him back?
All right.
All right. What's the story, Valentine?
How do you mean?
Let's not play it cozy. Who's after you?
You suppose this would have happened if I knew?
Who's carrying the beef? Somebody's unhappy with you. You must know who.
I don't.
You know what kind of a car it was?
I told the other cop over there. Sedan, green Ford.
We're not going to press you, Valentine. You might as well know how we peg this kind of thing.
Yeah?
We got your number. Had it for a long time. You're all up and down the blotter from Lincoln Heights to the county jail. You got a record everybody in this town knows about.
Aren't you a little mixed up? I'm the guy that got shot at.
We know that.
I pay my taxes for protection, not a lecture on my past.
Let me give you the word, Valentine. I've known you for a long time, and I've read about you in the newspapers. I've watched your so-called climb from two-bit penny ante rackets all the way up. Now, you've been told more than once about keeping your nose clean.
This is a switch, isn't it? Man gets shot at, cops read riot act, innocent victim.
Look, we know you and we know that crowd you run with. If you want to start a war, run a battlefield. Don't pick the streets of Los Angeles to fight it out.
I think I asked for it the way you men talk.
You did somewhere up and down the line. We know your operation. You walk the sideline marker all the way. Always got 1 foot inside the law. When you make yourself a target for some punk's machine gun, that's where you step outside.
Now, what are you going to do, eat me out and let the men with the machine gun get away?
We'll get them, whether you want to help us or not. We just don't have the time to run around jamming a cork in the barrel of every gun in town.
Before you get out of this car, let this sink in. There's not going to be any innocent people cut down by bullets that were meant for you.
Oh, I get it. My tax money's no good, huh? I pay a bigger chunk than most of the clouds in this town.
You haven't got a clear title to the city yet, and until you do, don't set up a shooting gallery.
Now, what do I do, dig a foxhole till you get ready to tab whoever's taking pot shots at me?
You can tell us who it is.
I got all I know. Don't you think I'd want him picked up?
I think you're a liar. I think you better square your beef and knock off this gangster stuff. There's not going to be any more of this kind of thing, understand?
That's the trouble with civil service. It makes a big man out of you $200 a month. I've never passed an exam, but I keep in step.
You missed the first one, from the gutter to the sidewalk. Almost without exception, every city in the United States has its Gus Valentine. These men remain out of custody, not because of any lack of law enforcement, but because of their ability to hide behind the laws which are designed to protect the innocent and use them to their own advantage. They operate allowing only the thinnest margin possible between themselves and the state penitentiary. We drove back to Central Division. At 6:18 p.m., we were called to the chief of detective's office.
He wouldn't give you anything, huh?
Not a thing.
Usual line of smart talk.
Who's ever after him meant business. Our storefronts were a mess.
Yeah, they won't quit now. Just a minute. What's that intelligence number?
2821.
Oh, yeah. Miss Brown, Captain White gone home? Oh, no, ask him to come up to the office, will you, please? Thanks.
If they do manage to tag Valentine, it could cause a pretty sour mess.
He's got enough flunkies around to parlay it into a fair-sized shooting war. See him started on less.
Was there any chance of pulling Valentine in until things simmer down?
No chance. We got nothing on him. Nothing we can prove.
He's got a few boys close to him. Maybe one of them could tell us.
Same 2 lawyers work for all of them. We'd pull them in, they'd be out in an hour on a writ.
You want to see me?
Yeah, why? Sit down. That Valentine shooting this afternoon.
Yeah.
What's your guess?
There's been some talk. We heard he was hot. You knew that.
Yeah.
The way we figured, he's getting too big for his pants. He's coming up fast. Stepped on a lot of toes on the way. Shouldn't be too tough to find out why.
That's half of it. If we get that much, maybe we can find out who.
You got a big field to pick from. I can find you a dozen possibles.
Well, we don't need a dozen. All we want are the ones from that car this afternoon.
Who do you figure, Captain? Why?
Well, I kind of go along with Joe. Like I said, I think maybe we'll be able to peg Y a little faster. And we can go from there.
All right.
Well, let's take what we know about the guy. Let's just take this past year. We know he's got more than a good share of the Mexican narcotics traffic. That means he's taking business from the Eastern Syndicate.
That makes one of those boys a candidate.
That's right. And there's the pinball machines. He's given Big Ernie Jacobs and Monk Watson a big push on those.
That puts them in the running.
That's a long list. The horses, fancy poker games, prostitution, the works. He's squeezing them all. A lot of guys could be shooting at him with a machine gun.
Where do we start?
Legwork. Lots of it. Fast. We'll start nosing around, see what we can pick up. Friday, you and Romero can give us a hand there.
Yes, sir.
All right, with you, Elliot?
Fine.
I don't have to tell you we've got to move as quick as we can. We've got a lot of places to hit, and we haven't got too much time.
We'll keep Valentine under surveillance to make sure he doesn't try to square things with a gun.
Yeah. This is one the taxpayers wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
Trying to keep a guy alive that'd be more dangerous dead. Wednesday, July 19th. Ben and I started making the rounds to find out why someone was out to get Gus Valentine. Captain was right. The list of his enemies was long. For 2 days, we talked to gamblers and bartenders at the usual hangouts. The few slim leads we picked up led nowhere. Saturday, July 22nd, we met with one of Ben's informants, a bar boy at a cafe out on Santa Monica Boulevard.
That's him over there at that table.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry? How are you?
Hiya, Ben. Grab a chair.
You know my partner, don't you?
Sure. Sit down, Joe.
Hi.
Want a beer?
No, thanks. We're working.
Coke?
Okay.
Well, one's enough. We'll
Here you
split
go.
it.
Okay. It's good and cold. Doctor cut me down 1 beer a day. It's a spot on a hot day, don't it?
Yeah. What about Valentine?
What about him?
You hear anything since I phoned you?
A couple of things. Word's getting around he's a welcher.
Horses?
I don't know. Big money. Hasn't paid off yet.
Who does he owe?
I can give you the name of one of them. Sal Tapper.
I don't know him.
Meatpacking business, wholesaler. Got a big plant down at 54th and Commercial. Owns a little neighborhood bar. That's where he spends most of his time.
Where's that?
Gardena. Calls it the Mile High.
And what about this Sal Tapper?
What do you mean?
How close is he to Valentine?
You mean one of his boys?
Yeah.
No. Valentine's his book, that's all.
Supposing Valentine owed him a wad of dough, would he push his point?
How do you mean?
Would he use pressure to collect?
Maybe a meat cleaver, not a machine gun. I don't figure him in on that Tuesday caper.
Mm-hmm.
Sure you don't want this other Coke?
No, thank you. What time you go to work?
Plenty of time. 1 bottle of beer ain't hardly enough.
Any rumbles about the shooting?
How do you mean?
Anything worth repeating?
Oh, everybody says the same thing. He's got it coming.
Who is everybody?
The homeowners, neighborhood Joes. They got it all pegged.
What's the popular guess?
A dame.
Well, that's about it, huh, Jerry?
That's about it.
What's your guess?
Fresh out? I don't know. How come you guys are so worried about Gus Valentine? I didn't think you cared whether he lived or died.
Either way, we're in trouble. We left the cafe on Santa Monica Boulevard and drove out to Gardena to the Mile High Bar. It was a typical neighborhood tavern with the windows painted in black except for 2 small ovals in the center of each window. They were filled with beer signs and red neon. The cloth sign advertised shuffleboard and life-size television. Inside, the walls were covered with alpine mountain climbers trying to fight their way up a mountain that looked twice as steep as the Matterhorn.
I need 10 nickels, will you, Lon?
Can you tell us where we can find Sal Tapper?
Yeah, I'm him. Thanks, Lynn. What do you want?
Police officers. I'd like to talk to you.
Sure, what about?
Gus Valentine.
Yeah? He owes me money.
Is that all you've got against him?
As much as he owes me, that's enough.
a real tough machine to beat.
How much money does he owe you?
Enough.
How long has he been booking for you?
I didn't say he was booking for me.
No, we did.
About 2 years. Come on. Get it. 4,000 on the first ball. I got to do better than that.
Where were you Tuesday afternoon?
At the packing house.
Can you prove it?
Would I say it if I couldn't prove it? When that little gate up there turns green and you go through it, you get an extra ball. If it's red, it doubles your score, but it's real tough to get in there.
How long has Valentine owed you money?
Oh, a little over a week.
When did he say he'd pay you?
He didn't say. Said he was trying to raise the dog.
You're the only one he owes?
No. There's a couple of more guys in town.
You know who they are?
No.
How do you know he owes somebody besides you?
I heard.
Did he say why he hasn't paid up?
What'd you say?
Did he say why he hasn't paid up?
I told you. He said he was trying to raise the money.
You sure you haven't tried to put the bite on him?
Sure I have. I want the dog. But I didn't gun him.
Somebody did.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't me.
You had a reason.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah. We're looking for the one with the machine gun.
Well, I can't help you there. Come on. Oh. Get in there. Hey, look at that. Free ball. 26,000. Now, that's a real tough machine to beat.
Where did you say you worked Tuesday?
At my packing plant, 54th and Commercial.
Okay.
How long have you known Gus Valentine?
About 4 years. I met him at a party out in Hollywood. It's the first time I've ever known him to welch.
Mm-hmm.
In there. Now. 27,000. I'm not doing so good, am I?
I don't know. It depends on where you were Tuesday. 12:30 p.m. We talked with the superintendent of Tapper's meatpacking house. He told us that Sol Tapper had been there all day when Gus Valentine was shot at. We talked to several employees of the plant. They corroborated his story. We checked Tapper out and found him to be a fairly respectable businessman who gambled a great deal on the side, but we felt reasonably sure that he had no part in the shooting. We knew that if we could run down the others to whom Valentine owed money, we'd be closer to finding out why he was being shot at and eventually get to the right man. 1:45 p.m. Ben and I went upstairs to the 8th floor of the city hall, the lunchroom. We had a sandwich and coffee.
Too close to dinner to have a piece of that pie, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so. Hand me another napkin, will you?
Yeah. Here.
Thank you.
Think you'd do any good to talk to Valentine again?
Maybe. I doubt it. He's not going to tell us anything.
I figure we're on the right track. A lot of reasons why he might be a target, but this welching business, that's new to him.
Could be.
You Sergeant Friday?
That's right.
Telephone.
Wait a minute. I'll go with you. I'm finished.
No, you got the check. I'll get the tip.
All right.
Slide that phone over, will you?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Friday.
Elliot, come down to Chief Brown's office right away.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
That pie sure did look good.
Come on, let's get that elevator.
Yeah. Hey, who called?
The skipper. He wants us to go to Chief Brown's office.
Temple Street floor, please. What's up?
I don't know.
You make the runs again tonight?
Yeah, a couple of places we can hit in the south end of town. I called Charlie Flint's place this afternoon. Maybe he'll have something for us.
Yeah, I hope so.
Come on.
Wish now I'd had that pie. I'm still hungry.
I got a candy bar in my desk. You can have that.
I can't eat those chewy bars inlays.
Oh, it's some kind of a fudge bar.
Okay.
Come in.
Yes, sir.
Get over to Georgia Street right away.
Why?
Gus Valentine. They did it again.
Yeah?
This time they didn't miss. Here, step by step, are the reasons why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers from coast to coast.
Step 1.
The name Fatima has always stood for the best in cigarette quality.
Step 2.
Long cigarette smokers discover Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Step 3.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima extra mild. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild.
And that's why more and more smokers every day agree
it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Yes, the name Fatima on that golden yellow package is your insurance of an extra mild smoke.
So enjoy king-size Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
Saturday, July 22nd, 5:30 p.m. We drove to the Georgia Street Receiving Hospital and went up to the 3rd floor. We talked to the doctor in charge, who told us that 2 slugs had been taken from Gus Valentine's right leg and 1 from his right shoulder. They had been marked for identification. He was in fair condition. We talked with the patrolman who made the ambulance follow-up. They told us Valentine had been shot as he entered his apartment house garage. There were no eyewitnesses. We went in and talked to Valentine.
You told the officers that the guy who shot you was on foot.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Couldn't tell.
You haven't any idea who it could have been?
No.
You don't expect us to swallow that again, do you?
I don't care either way.
Why don't you pay up what you owe?
What do you mean?
You owe some big money you haven't paid off.
Where'd you get that?
That's the word going around. Looks to us like you either pay up or get shot up.
Did I ask for advice?
No, and here's something else you didn't ask for. Twice in 1 week you've been mixed up in shooting scrapes. We told you the city doesn't belong to you.
I don't claim ownership.
Now listen, we've been over this before, and this is the last time. Don't push us any courage. We know you talk big and you haven't got the guts to go along with it.
Yeah, sure.
Now come on, who's shooting at you?
I know your phone number. I'll call you if I need help. I'll take care of this myself.
Valentine, the first time you pull a cap gun, we're going to sit on you. If there's any retaliating, we'll do it.
I'm tired of sitting like a duck on a pond.
Then tell us who's gunning for you.
That's between me and them. I'll meet them when I'm ready.
All right. We're through talking. When we get to the bottom of this and find out who's been doing all the shooting, we'll have an answer. And if we find out you've been withholding evidence, it's going to go hard for you, understand?
Yeah, sure. Now leave me alone.
Come on, Jim.
Yeah. I better call the office.
Homicide, Graham.
Captain Elliott there?
I'll see. Captain, will you take 2?
Elliot,
This is Friday, checking in on the Valentine thing.
what's the story?
Couldn't get anything out of him. He isn't hurt bad. Right leg and shoulder.
All right. Here's something you can run down.
Yeah?
Got a tip from White in Intelligence. He's got a man out at Freddy's Fish and Chips on Slauson. Says a couple of guys in there blowing off about Valentine.
Who are they?
Billy Keel and Tony Farrar.
They're not on Valentine's team.
That's right. White's man says the party's getting rough out there. You, Romero, better follow up on it.
Right?
Another thing, if it looks like anything, you better bring him in for questioning.
Okay.
Check me when you get in.
Right. Let's go.
What is it?
Keel and Farrar. Skipper wants us to pick him up and bring him in for questioning.
What do they know about the shooting?
They know enough to talk about it. 7 p.m. We located Freddy's Fish and Chips place on Slauson near Montgomery Street. A dozen or so tables at the back of the restaurant were already taken with the overflow lined up 2 deep at the bar. The man from Intelligence Detail was down at the far end of the steam table nursing a cheese sandwich. He motioned us over and pointed out Billy Keel and Tony Farrar. They were sitting at one of the tables along with 4 other men drinking Boilermakers and eating French fried potatoes. Ben and I made our way through the crowd toward the back tables. Sorry. Pardon me. Can I get through here, please?
All right. So it figures. Done it?
You, Billy Keel?
That's right. Which one's Tony Farrar? He's getting a beer. What do you want?
Police officers want to talk to you and Farrar downtown.
What's the matter?
I'd like to ask you a few questions. You want to get your hat?
You got any questions, you can ask them here. Hey, Vic, how about buying around? Come on, Keel, let's go. I got nothing to tell you now. Let me alone.
There's 2 ways to go downtown, the hard way and the easy way. Let's take the easy way.
All right.
This way.
Okay.
Doc, Joe!
right, Joe? Yeah. You're bleeding pretty bad.
Yeah, I know.
Let's get him to the car. Look at your suit. It's ripped to pieces. My wife's going to kill me.
One of the officers in the ambulance follow-up drove our car back to the city hall. Tony Farrar and Billy Keel were taken to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital for emergency treatment. We went in the same ambulance. Ben had a broken index finger, a 2-inch cut in his scalp, and a deep gash in his right thigh. I had 5 stitches taken in my upper right arm and 3 above my left eye. My right eye was swollen shut. The man from intelligence detail was taken to the P&F ward to be treated for a minor concussion. It was 9:15 p.m. when we got back to the city hall, the interrogation room.
How about it, Keel?
What?
What do you know about the Valentine shooting?
I don't know anything about it.
You're worried.
About what?
You tell us. You started that fight out there.
I didn't see any reason to go downtown.
Does Valentine owe you any money?
No.
You've been talking a lot.
Any law against that?
Why'd you shoot Gus Valentine?
I didn't shoot him.
Can you account for your time Tuesday afternoon?
I don't have to answer that.
Where were you this afternoon?
My lawyer's coming in. Ask him.
How much money does Valentine owe you?
Keel? Ever see this before?
I don't even know what it is.
We found that machine gun in your apartment.
Doesn't belong to me.
We got your car downstairs. Green Ford sedan.
Doesn't belong to me.
White slip's got your name on it. Here's something else with your name on it. 2 chits for $750 signed by Gus Valentine. Money he owes you on the horses.
You shot him, didn't you?
I don't see how you can prove it.
I'll tell you how. We ran this Tommy gun through the crime lab. We dug the same slugs out of the front of those stores where you tried to kill Valentine. Your prints are all over the gun. How much more do you want?
It's not my gun.
All we got to do is find the .45 you used this afternoon and match it up with the slugs we dug out of Valentine's leg, and, mister, you'll be away for a long time.
All right. We used the Tommy gun. We didn't hit him. Didn't try. Only wanted to scare him. I got tired of waiting for my dough. I got no use for a welcher.
What about this afternoon?
No, sir. Me and Farrar didn't have nothing to do with that. I'll take the machine gun rap, but it wasn't us this afternoon.
Elliot, Friday, step outside a minute.
Yeah.
Valentine.
Yeah?
Somebody just blew his hospital room full of holes.
It took us 17 minutes with red light and siren to get to the Ferndale Sanitarium where Gus Valentine was recovering from his gunshot wounds. 3 cruiser cars were out front when we pulled up. We went to room 12 in the West Wing.
Where's the doctor, Joe?
Yeah. How is he, Doctor?
He was dead when we got in here. He had a private nurse. Shot her, too. Dead.
Anyone else hurt?
It was visiting hours. Some woman was in there talking to him. She got hit. We're treating her down in the emergency room.
Appreciate it, Doctor, if you keep your staff out of the room here until we finish our investigation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Let's have a look inside.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
He didn't fool this time.
Too bad he wouldn't give us more help.
Yeah.
We're no worse off than we were. We still have to find out who it was without him.
I hope we can get to him before Valentine's crowd starts shooting back.
We got to. Anyway, this cancels out his debts.
You know his record.
Yeah.
He owed a lot more than he could ever pay.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 26th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 97, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, king-size Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Long cigarette smokers find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima. Best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Billy Keel and Tony Farrar were tried and convicted of assault with intent to commit murder. They were filed on by the federal authorities, Bureau of Alcohol and Tax Unit, for the illegal possession of a machine gun and were found guilty in federal court. Because they were both in custody at the time of Gus Valentine's murder, they were cleared of any complicity of the crime. Valentine's killer was still at large.
Next week, The Big Gangster, Part 2.
You have just heard Dragnet, authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Today, the American Red Cross is carrying on a campaign to finance one of the greatest programs in peacetime history. Give now to the Red Cross.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Tomorrow, hear The Halls of Ivy on NBC. The story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A notorious hoodlum in your city has been shot to death. A gang war is threatened if his followers seek revenge. Your job, find the killers.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So, enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild. Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Saturday, July 22nd. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 10 p.m. when we walked out of the murder room at the Ferndale Sanitarium and went down to the end of the hall, the emergency room.
I'm sorry. I know this hurts. We have to irrigate the wound.
Where are the bullets that were removed from Miss Stalling?
Right on the table, Doctor.
There they are, Captain Elliott. Thank you. Romero, you want to mark her for evidence?
All right. Doctor?
Yes, Sergeant.
Wonder if it'd be all right if we asked Miss Stallings a few questions.
I think so. She's still in the bad state of shock. If you'll be as brief as possible.
Yes, sir.
Miss Stallings, these men are police officers. This is Captain Elliott. This is Sergeant Friday, is that right?
That's right. It's my partner, Sergeant Romero.
Yes.
You were in the room when Gus Valentine was shot?
Yes.
Do you feel up to telling us what happened?
No. Excuse me, please.
Surely.
I have to paint this. Get the compress on it.
You were visiting Valentine?
So you better wait until the nurse finishes up there.
All right, sorry.
She got hit twice, just flesh wounds, but they're very painful.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Surely.
You're all right. I can reach it. There. All right.
You were in the room when Valentine was shot?
Yes, I saw it.
Did you get a look at the men that did the shooting?
I don't remember.
Could you describe them?
I don't know.
You sure you're feeling up to talking now?
I don't know.
You any idea who the men were?
No.
Maybe we can talk to you later.
I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. You hear me? You hear me?
Nervous shock.
I'm sorry. We didn't mean to upset her.
You didn't. Thought maybe she might be able to help you a little, but I guess not. Better make it sometime tomorrow morning. She'll be all right then.
Okay, thanks.
I don't know if I saw him. I don't know if I saw him. How should I know if I saw him? How should I know?
Let's go.
That's too bad.
Better have an ambulance move her up to county hospital.
I don't think you should try to move her tonight. She needs the rest.
All right, we'll have a detail of men stand watch here till she's moved.
What time tomorrow could we see her?
If you can make it close to noon, it'd be better. Good rest, she'll be all right. Better let me give you a ring.
Right.
Could you give us her full name and address?
Yes, I have it right here. Ida Mae Stallings, 837 Downhill Street, Linwood.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else here in the sanitarium see the shooting?
Well, I saw the man. I couldn't describe them, just their backs as they ran down the hall after the shooting.
How were they built, do you remember?
About average, I'd say. Hard to tell.
How were they dressed?
Well, one of them was wearing a hat, looked like some kind of summer hat.
Straw?
No, it was one of those, what am I trying to say? You know the kind.
Was it an open weave hat?
No, very common in the summer.
You mean a Panama?
Panama, sure, that was it. White.
What kind of suits did they have on?
I couldn't tell you. I was in my office when I heard the shots. I came out in the corridor. They were just making for the back door.
Anyone else see it?
Sylvia Proctor, the nurse who was in the room at the time. Why'd they kill her?
I don't know.
Any of the patients? Is it possible one of them might have seen him?
Yes, one of them did see something. Bert Anderson. Like to talk with him?
Yes, we would.
And down this way. He's in room 38, just down the hall from the shooting.
All right.
I should tell you, Mr. Anderson lost his speech about 9 years ago. He uses a child's slate to write on.
Why is he here in the sanitarium?
He's old. 73. Lives on a pension. Except for losing his speech, he's as sharp as a high school boy. Hello, Bert. Sorry to bother you after all the excitement. Yeah, all right. We won't keep you up long. It's after your bedtime. Would you hand me that box of chalk over there?
Oh, yeah.
Bert, these men are police officers. I want you to tell them what you know about the shooting tonight. I thought you might have seen it. This is Captain Elliott from the Homicide Department.
How you do, Mr. Anderson?
And this is Sergeant Friday, that right?
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
And this is Sergeant Romero.
How do you do, sir?
Where were you at the time of the shooting, Mr. Anderson? Sitting in here with the door open, huh? Did you get a good look at the men? What'd they look like?
Question mark.
I don't think he understands what you want to know. Yes, that's a trouble.
Let's put it this way, Mr. Anderson. How many men were there? Let's take one of these two men. Can you describe one of them?
That's the way, Captain. That slate's rather small, and he can only get so much on it at a time. He's like all of us. He wants to talk fast, and this is the only way he knows, so we have to make it easy for him.
I understand.
Built like the captain. Your bill, Skipper. Same man had a thin mustache. That's all I can tell you about him.
How about the other man, Mr. Anderson? Can you describe him? Please. What's that second word? I can't make it out.
Understand. They were running very fast.
Thanks. Yes, we understand. Did you see the other man at all? Fine. What can you tell us about him?
All he could see was... man was wearing a hat.
A white Panama hat, Mr. Anderson?
He says yes.
Was there anything peculiar about the way they walked or ran? Or did one of them have a limp, for instance?
Didn't notice anything. He says he didn't notice anything. Could you tell us anything about the men's faces? They passed by so quickly. I was worried about the gunshots. Yes, we can understand that, but do you think you could identify them if you ever saw them again?
He says he could try.
Could Mr. Anderson come downtown if we ever show up?
I don't see why not, but gets around fine. Now he wants to know why they killed Miss Proctor, the nurse. He says she was one of his best friends.
We don't know, Mr. Anderson.
Says he wishes he could talk. Maybe he could help you more.
It's all right, Bert. You talk loud enough. Monday, July 24th, a roundup of all known racketeers and their gang members was ordered by the chief of detectives. 3 show-ups were scheduled, one at 10 a.m., one at 2, and another one at 3 p.m. The witnesses that we had were unable to identify any of the men. The incomplete descriptions we had of the suspects was not enough to help the artist in the crime lab to build a composite picture of the killers. No matter what approach we took, it seemed that we were getting nowhere. The immediate apprehension of the killers was not only important because of their danger to the private citizen, but because of the ever-present threat of an open shooting war between Gus Valentine's followers and members of the murder gang, whoever they were. 3:15 p.m.
I got it. Homicide, Romero. Oh, yeah, All right, thanks. Crime lab.
They make a run on those slugs you got at the hospital?
Yeah. No match.
Oh, that's great.
How fouled up can it get?
Yeah.
Hi.
Come on, Slow-Mo.
I'm with you.
Hi, Rambo.
Cromwell's message here to call you why?
Oh, yeah, I better do it right away.
Just so the skipper told Stormy and me to work with you guys on the Valentine thing.
We can use all the help we can get.
Joe, you slide the phone over?
Oh, yeah, here you go.
What's the matter? Change your mind?
You let her ring once. She knows the signal. She's over at the mother-in-law's.
Yeah?
Mother-in-law's got lots of money and a limited phone. Let her call me.
You got any ideas, Earl?
Well, I don't know anybody who liked Valentine. A lot of them could have killed him. Just got word from the crime lab. There's no match on those slugs.
And you didn't get anything out of the show-ups?
No, nothing.
Maybe that Stallings woman can give us something, huh?
You haven't been out there yet?
No, not yet. We've been sweating out the show-ups.
Stormy and I read your reports. Rough go. We had an idea.
Yeah?
One of Valentine's boys you didn't get around to yet.
Who's that? Benny Davis. He was pretty close to him. Thought a lot of him. If anybody figures to take over his interest, it's probably Davis.
You think advancement could have been the motive for him?
No, he wouldn't kill him. Anyway, he couldn't have. Just got in from Florida this morning. That doesn't mean he couldn't have engineered it. Possible, but I doubt it. Stormy and I know his operation pretty well. Pulled him in on that Patterson killing 6 months ago. Checked back through his record. Never picked up carrying a gun.
Well, it doesn't mean he couldn't get one in a hurry.
I'm not going to guarantee, Davis, but I don't think he's your man, Joe.
You got a line on him?
Lives at the Churchill Arms out in Wilshire, near UCLA.
All right, we'll talk to him.
What was the name of that girl who was wounded, the one at the sanitarium?
Ida Mae Stallings. We'll go out and talk to her if you like.
Fine.
Who's going to see the Stallings woman at the sanitarium?
We are.
The doctor just called in from out there.
Oh, yeah?
Says she got something important to tell us.
What do you think?
She ran with Valentine. She knew his friends.
Yeah?
Maybe she knows his enemies.
As we planned, Detectives Rombo and Stromwall went out to the Ferndale Sanitarium to talk to Ida Mae Stallings. Ben and I drove out to the Churchill Arms apartments to see Benny Davis, one of Gus Valentine's close friends. He left a message with the desk clerk that he would be at his tailor's most of the day. The clerk gave us the address. It was an exclusive custom shop on Crescent Drive in the heart of Beverly Hills. Franklin Smith Limited. It was one of those places that featured imported Scotch tweeds and fine English woolens.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. May I serve you?
Could you tell us if Benny Davis is in here?
Mr. Davis. Yes, sir. Third fitting room. To the rear, on your left.
Thank you. Come on.
Look at that brown cloth over there, Joe.
Yeah, it's Donegal tweed. It's nice fabric.
I had me one of them once. Wears like iron.
Oh, yes. This blue spin stripe certainly fits a great deal better than the brown one. You turn round. Yes, excellent fit.
Yeah, looks fine. I don't know if I like that right shoulder.
Looks a little low, Mr. Davis.
Excuse me?
This fitting room's taken, gentlemen.
Benny Davis in here.
Yeah, what is it?
Wonder if we could see you alone.
What about?
Confidential.
No, Cedric, not like that. Pull the shoulder up. More padding, maybe.
Oh, do you think so? I don't know if I agree, Mr. Davis.
Well, you can see how it slopes off there. I like a good full shoulder.
Well, you've got a good full cut here. Of course, too much padding is going to ruin the line of the jacket.
I'd like more padding.
Yeah, very well. A number 2 pad on the right shoulder and ease the armholes.
Number 2 pad, right shoulder, ease armholes.
What is it, income tax? What's the secret?
We're police officers. Like to talk to you alone for a minute.
All right, be finished in a second.
That takes care of this one, Mr. Davis. You want 2-inch cuffs in the trousers?
Yeah, on all of them. Cedric, be sure to get these sleeves short enough. I'd like lots of linen to show.
Oh, yes, surely.
Now, if you'll slip on the green tropical.
Okay.
I'll take your jacket.
Thanks. Hey, want to tell me what it's all about?
Rather talk to you alone.
Here are the trousers.
Okay. Good-looking suit, huh?
Fine.
Yeah, get all my stuff made here. I'll let Smith here make you a suit sometime. Got a fine suit of clothes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Is your jacket, Mr. Davis?
Right.
That looks fine. Yes, the trousers just right into fullness in the back of the jacket here.
Uh-huh.
And taking the center seam.
Taking center seam. How much?
And trimmed. Here's the back.
Raise the back.
Shorten collar.
Shorten collar.
Yeah, looks just fine.
That's a nice soft roll of the lapels, isn't it?
Yeah, good.
All right, Mr. Davis. Now, how about the white Palm Beach?
Nice Panama hat. It'd go good with that one.
I never wear them. I like a coconut palm with a wide puggree band.
Wonder if you could hold off the next fitting for a minute. We won't keep you long.
All right.
Any place around here where it's private?
We can use Smith's office. Okay, Frank?
Certainly. Go right ahead, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Which way?
Back here.
Okay, what's on your mind?
Gus Valentine.
Yeah, that's a tough one to lose.
You got any idea who killed him?
We're working on it.
How do you mean?
Just that.
Well, that makes us even. There's only one difference.
Yeah?
We get paid for it. You don't.
We thought a lot more of Gus than you did. Any law against striking down the killers?
It's a law against shooting him down.
Tell that to the boys who cut down Gus. I don't think you can get to him without us.
We've done it before.
You're a little late with Gus.
We tried to keep him alive. We warned him for a month. He knew what was coming. We talked to him.
Yeah, he told me. A funny guy. He had a mind of his own. He had a reason for not telling you.
What was it?
When we get there, we can ask him.
You think you know who did it?
Won't be too tough to find out. Meantime, you can work it from your end.
And if you get to him first?
Maybe we'll give you a call.
Now, you listen, Davis. I'll tell you the same thing we told Valentine. It's not open season for murder. This town's had all the shooting it's going to have. Valentine's killer's going to go to the gas chamber. That's the only way he's going to go. You understand?
Nobody said any different.
All right. And you can tell us what you know.
Who do you think shot Valentine?
I can't be sure.
You've got somebody in mind.
There's a dame.
Who?
Audrey Thompson.
What about her?
She runs around with a couple of guys.
Yeah?
There's never any love lost between them and Gus. They were always talking big about what they'd do if Gus got out of line.
What'd they have against him?
Business. Claimed Gus was squeezing them out.
Was he?
I never knew much about Gus's out-of-town business. That's where these guys are from. They're new in town. Figured Gus was cutting them off out here on the coast.
Who are they?
Shaker Brothers. Bud and Carl.
Where can we find them?
I don't know. They're in town somewhere.
What about this Audrey Thompson?
Nice dame. Hard to figure. Husband died a year ago. Real nice woman. Been doing the town with the Shaker boys. Nobody could figure it.
You think she's in on it?
No, but she could finger him if anybody could. Lives at 8700 North Serrano.
All right, Davis, thanks. What's the new wardrobe for?
Going east to catch the new Broadway shows leaving Wednesday.
Better hold off for a week, huh?
All right.
Come on, Ben.
Think he's got anything?
Could be. We'll run it down.
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah?
Sure do like that brown cloth.
It's nice.
Sheldon, may I help you?
How long does it take you to make up a suit?
Anywhere from 3 days to a week.
Uh-huh.
You interested in having us make one up for you?
Yeah. Yeah, how do they run?
Prices start from $175 and up. This Donegal tweed here makes up for $250.
Oh. Well, I guess not, thank you.
Wears like iron.
$4:30 p.m. We drove out to 8700 North Serrano to the home of Audrey Thompson. There was nobody home. We went back to the office to check with Rombo and Stromwall. We drove in the Spring Street entrance of the City Hall garage.
There's Rombo and Stromwall. They must have just got in. Hey, Rombo.
Hi.
How'd you make out? Stallings woman tell you anything?
Well, we talked to her. Think maybe we got a lead.
What's that?
Girl around town by the name of Thompson.
Audrey Thompson?
Yeah, that's right.
What'd she say about her?
Said if anyone could put the finger on Valentine's killer, the Thompson girl could.
Benny Davis told us the same thing.
What do you think, Earl?
2 and 2 makes 4.
Let's find her.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to an actual police case. Here, step by step, are the reasons why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers from coast to coast.
Step 1.
The name Fatima has always stood for the best in cigarette quality.
Step 2.
Long cigarette smokers discover Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Step 3.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima extra mild. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild.
And that's why more and more smokers every day agree
it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Yes, the name Fatima on that golden yellow package is your insurance of an extra mild smoke.
So enjoy king-size Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
5 o'clock Monday afternoon. We tried for 3 hours to get in touch with Audrey Thompson. A few minutes after 8 p.m., we contacted her landlady. She told us that the Thompson girl was out of town and would be gone for 2 days. She didn't know where she'd gone, but she told us that she would be back. We checked her apartment and found all of her clothing and personal effects. A stakeout was placed at 8700 North Serrano, and then we went back to the office and got out a local broadcast on Audrey Thompson. Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock. Ben and I met with Captain Elliott, Detectives Rombo and Stromwell.
Get a line on the Shaker brothers?
Located them at the Eagle Towers apartments. Got them under surveillance.
I don't think it'd be a good idea to pull them in yet. See what the Thompson girl has to say, then we can move on them.
That's what we figured.
Pull the packages on them?
Yeah, they both got fair records. Been up on 3 raps, 1 conviction, second-degree robbery in Tulsa. That's where they're from.
Couple of tough ones, always ready to use a gun. Apparently got a wad of dough somewhere. They've been throwing a lot of money around town.
Pick up any rumbles about them?
Well, we've been nosing around. We can't get anything on them for sure. They're not known around here.
Shown the mug shots of the Shaker brothers to Mr. Anderson at the sanitarium. The doc, too.
Yeah?
Looks like the guys to them.
Everything hinges on the Thompson girl.
Check her out?
Yeah, she used to be married to a newspaper man, Blaine Thompson. Died last year in an auto accident. No children. Went to high school here in town, local girl. Reputation's good all the way.
Why the sudden switch to tough guys?
I don't think she knows.
You satisfied Davis is leveling with you?
Well, if he's not, he did a good job briefing the Stallings woman. They both came up with the same lead, the Thompson girl.
We had him in on the Patterson killing. You remember that, Skipper? He cooperated then.
That time it was his skin. This time it's not.
Well, I laid it out for him. He's been told.
Well, how's it feel to you fellas? Pretty quiet around town?
Yeah, it seems to be. I wouldn't make book on what might happen if we don't wrap this thing up quick.
I think after Joe and Ben gave Davis a word, he passed it down along the line. Anyway, there's an outside chance.
They just brought in the Thompson girl.
Send her in.
Right.
You just sit there, Miss Thompson.
All right.
Our detectives Friday, Romero.
How do you do?
Cromwell, Rombo.
How do you do?
Guess you're wondering why you've been picked up.
Yes, I was rather surprised. I was down at Palm Springs for a few days. I don't often get away. My boss gave me a 2-day holiday.
What do you know about the Shaker brothers, Miss Thompson?
They're friends of mine. I go out with them.
We have reason to believe they might be mixed up in a murder.
I don't believe that. What's this all about?
The Gus Valentine killing.
Do you think they're mixed up in that?
How well do you know the Shaker boys?
Well, to be truthful, I don't know them at all, really. I met them at a dance.
Who introduced you?
Nobody. I go to the Brookdale Ballroom every Wednesday night with some of the girls from the office. It's open to the public. Carl Shaker asked me for a dance one night, and that's how I met him.
You ought to pick your companions a little more carefully. Both of these men have criminal records.
I didn't know that.
You've been out with them quite a lot, have you?
I've known them a little over a month, yes.
They ever said anything that might lead you to believe that they were mixed up in any rackets?
No, I never heard anything like that.
You're sure you never heard them discuss any business dealings of any kind?
Yes, I'm sure.
You've been seen in quite a few night spots around Los Angeles with them, is that right?
Yes, they always take me to some nice place.
You always go alone with them?
How do you mean?
Which one of them do you go with, Bud or Carl?
Well, I never really thought about it. Both of them, I guess.
When you go out, they never take another girl along the party?
No, just Bud, Carl, and myself.
You go to most of the expensive clubs around town, is that right?
Yes, like I said, we always go to some nice place.
Do you ever wonder where they got the money?
Well, they told me they worked for one of the aircraft plants.
I thought you told us they didn't discuss their business with you.
Well, I didn't consider telling me where they worked was discussing business.
Did you consider that an aircraft worker's salary wouldn't even handle the cover charge at most of the places they've been taking you?
Well, no, I guess I was having too good a time to question.
You see, Miss Thompson, you could spend a great amount of time with people and not remember things about them. Now, you sure you've told us everything you know about the Shaker brothers?
Yes.
All right, that's all. If you find out something you think we should know, we'd appreciate it if you'd give us a call.
Well, I won't be knowing anything about them because I'm going to stop seeing them. I didn't know they had criminal records.
That's entirely up to you. I think it's only fair to warn you that if you do have any information you're withholding, it liable you to persecution.
I understand. And I'm not going out with them anymore.
I wouldn't let them know you've talked with us. If they are the men we're looking for, it might put you in danger.
I'm not afraid of it.
Neither was Gus Valentine. For the next 10 days, Audrey Thompson, along with the Shaker brothers, was kept under close surveillance. It was obvious that she'd either lied to us or changed her mind. She continued going out with them. She was seen in all the important night spots around town. Thursday, August 9th, we met with Captain Elliott.
Skipper, maybe we better pull the Thompson girl in again for questioning.
Let's hold off for a few more days. I'm afraid if we bring her down here again, the Shaker brothers could get wise. Since she decided to ignore what we told her, they might get rough with her.
Why can't we move on them? Shake down their apartment. If we're lucky enough to come up with a murder gun, we can work from there.
I don't think so, Joe. The record and only one conviction. I think we'd be playing a long shot.
That's the way it looks to me, Earl. Maybe something will break if we can hold out just a few days more.
Yeah, being watched awful close. If they try to move in any direction, our men will be with them.
Friday.
Yeah.
Can you step out here for a minute?
Right.
Excuse me.
Sure. Back when you're through.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the lady out here to see you.
Thanks.
Mr. Friday.
Hello, Miss Thompson.
I didn't stop seeing the Shaker boys.
Yes, we know.
What you men told me a couple of weeks ago just made me sick. To think I'd been going out with these men, been seeing with them. I've never done anything like that in my life.
Yes, ma'am.
I decided to try and find out what you wanted to know.
You didn't ask him any leading questions.
Oh, no, I knew better than that. Last night we were out and they had a little too much to drink and they got to talking.
Yeah?
I didn't say anything. I let them talk and acted interested.
Yeah?
I confess now, I'm terribly frightened. I spent the night with my sister-in-law. Could I stay here till you get this thing straightened out?
Certainly. We'll give you protection, Miss Thompson. Oh, what'd they tell you?
First, they got talking about some girl called Ida May. I didn't catch the last name. Said they wondered if she saw them at the sanitarium.
Yeah?
Said they wished they'd finished the job that night, whatever that meant. Then Bud said, I don't think she saw us or we'd have heard.
Anything else?
Yes. Carl said, did you see the look on Gus's face when we opened up?
Not what?
They laughed.
I had a stenographer take Audrey Thompson's statement, and I filled in Captain Elliott, Rombo, Stromwall, and Ben. We checked the stakeout on the Shaker brothers' apartment. The suspects hadn't been seen since early that morning when they'd gone in. Detectives Rombo and Stromwall, together with Ben and I, drove to the Eagle Towers apartments. It was 4:35 p.m.
Strommy and I'll go up the back way. We'll notify the men on stakeout to keep a sharp eye all around.
Right. Let's go.
Apartment 410 is the top floor.
Yeah. Let's take the elevator.
Yeah.
Push 4.
Right. Just thinking.
Yeah?
That Thompson girl, long on nerve.
It's this way. Here it is. Cover me.
Yeah.
Police officers. You all right?
Yeah.
Hit the door. Come on.
Windows open so far as gate.
Come on. There they go over by the ventilator. Watch it.
There's Strommy and Rombo coming out the door onto the roof.
Rombo, watch it. They're up here. There goes one of them. Come on.
All right, hold it right there.
I give up. There goes the other one. He's making for that cable house. Stay with this one. I'll get him. All right, Shaker, let's put the gun away. If you make a break onto the roof, they'll cut you down. Hold it, Shaker.
You all right, Joe?
Yeah.
Did you shoot him?
No. He was trying to make it to the roof. He grabbed that hot terminal over there and knocked him cold.
Oh, yeah.
Move your foot, will you?
Yeah. What's that?
White Panama hat.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On November 19th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 89, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, king-size Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Long cigarette smokers find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima. Best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Adolph Bud Shaker and his brother Carl Shaker were tried and convicted of murder in the first degree. On recommendation of the jury, they received life sentences. They are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, authentic cases from official police files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet from Los Angeles.
Tomorrow, hear the Ronald Colemans in the Halls of Ivy on NBC.
Regan. I get 10 a day on expenses from a detective bureau run by a guy named Anthony J. Lyon. They call me the Lion's Eye.
With Jack Webb as Jeff Regan, Investigator, stand by for hard-boiled action and mystery and thrilling adventure in tonight's story of The Lost Lady.
You'll find it in Hollywood, jammed in between Van Ness and Wilton, right off the boulevard, Taft Avenue. Starts at a furniture store, runs for about a block, and then crosses Franklin. What happens to it after that, I don't know. I only go as far as the gray apartment building on the even number side, about the first thing you see. Figures that the guy who built my place never read the earthquake laws. A good crap game and shake it loose. Well, that's where I live. Apartment 308. In the back, where I can keep an eye on a brass drain pipe and a tired-out palm tree. I got a coffee pot and a bed that comes out of the wall. It isn't much, but the phone company had to have an address. That's where I was last Monday night, about 8 o'clock. Some Cleveland fans were running up a house tab in the apartment above me when the phone rang. I thought it might be somebody from Boston. It was the Lion.
Regan, I'm calling you from the office. I stayed late tonight.
You should have joined the union.
We got a new client.
Yeah?
Her name's Isabel Sanchez. I just talked to her.
Did you make a date?
She flew in from Mexico City tonight on American Airlines. She needs help.
They're saying that about the Democrats.
Comes from a fine family. Lots of influence in Mexico.
Try the State Department.
She came all the way to Los Angeles to see her sister, but she's disappeared.
Did you tell her about the Missing Persons Bureau?
I told her about you.
What do you mean?
You're going to find her sister.
I'm no St. Bernard.
You'll do till I can feed one. Besides, she could go to the Mexican Council if she wanted to.
What's that got to do with it?
Remember the Pan-American Conference? We gotta be nice to this dame.
Yeah, well, don't make up a contract.
I already did. She gave me $200.
What else did you get?
She'll tell you the rest.
Don't you ever ask questions?
That's your job. She's got a room at the Belmont. Hop over there and see her. She's expecting you to find her sister.
Is that all?
That's enough. Call me after you talk to her.
I hope her check bounces.
Don't worry. She paid cash.
Well, you can tell that the Lion only stayed in school long enough to learn how to spell dollar. It took me about 20 minutes to get over to her hotel. Isabel Sanchez had a room on the 6th floor. I found it on the Wilshire side. 610 it was. She was a tall, blonde girl, not the least bit pretty. She had a mouthful of good-looking teeth, but she never learned how to use them in a smile.
No, Mr. Regan.
That's right.
Come in. Please excuse me. I'm still unpacking. Come in.
All right.
I'm so glad you're here. I suppose Mr. Lyon told you everything.
Your sister's missing. You want to talk to me?
Yes. Oh, it's terrible. An awful vacant feeling. I was so looking forward to seeing Carmen again. We were very close.
You talk like you don't expect to see her.
Something might have happened to her.
Like what?
I don't know. She's always been so independent and, well, strange.
Well, a lot of people have their own ideas.
I'm embarrassed telling you this.
You've got to tell somebody.
Well, Carmen left home against my father's wishes.
How old is Carmen?
22.
What was the guy's name?
What do you mean?
All right, come on. I got to have it all, lady. There was a man in it.
Yes. Martin Chambers.
From here in L.A.?
Carmen met him once in Mexico City. Thought she was in love with him.
When was this?
A year ago.
She followed him back.
Yes.
You took a long time to catch up.
I've been very concerned about Carmen. I received this letter from her a few days ago. It was the first word since she left home. Here. You can see it's not much. She asked me to come here. I took the first plane.
What about this address?
There's no such place. I went there right from the airport.
Who sent you to us?
You're in the phone book.
Is that all you got?
Well, I have a picture, and it isn't very good. Just a snapshot here.
Blonde, huh?
A little darker than mine. She's the same height. We wore each other's clothes.
Who else did she know?
Just Martin Chambers. Oh, no. Now, wait a minute. She mentioned a Dr. Menlo in her letter.
Did she need a doctor?
She just said he'd been very kind to her.
That isn't very much to go on.
I know, but you will follow every lead.
Yeah, sure. What are you scared of?
Why do you ask that?
It's a warm night. You got the shakes.
I had a long trip.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You know this Chambers?
Yes?
You like him?
No.
What's that you got there in your hand?
An evening gown. Why?
You didn't bring that for me. Well, her story was smooth, but the clothes didn't fit. All the labels that showed said New York City. I went downstairs to a phone booth, and I got a hold of a friend of mine in the CAA. He checked into it, and he told me that nobody named Isabel Sanchez came in on that Mexico City flight. The whole thing looked phony, like a fan dancer in long underwear. Well, it was about 11 o'clock when I got over to the Lion's place. It was a cold night, but the Lion looked warm.
What do you want, Regan? I'm busy.
So am I. I've been looking at that Sanchez dame.
Tell me about it in the morning.
No, I'm going to tell you about it right now. It's no good.
What do you mean?
It's another bum client.
She gave me $200.
Her clothes are out of New York.
Maybe she came the long way.
She didn't come in on American.
So she's got a donkey. All you got to do is find her sister.
I just told you she's a phony.
Let me worry about that.
Well, you can start now. Here.
What's this?
It's a letter and a picture. That's all the lead I got.
Now, wait a minute, Regan. What about our contract?
New Year's is coming up. You'll need confetti.
I can't do a thing like that. We got a moral obligation.
And $200.
I'm thinking of our reputation. I've given our word.
Take it back.
That girl's a stranger in a foreign land. She came to us for help.
Oh, stop it, will you? If there was a quarter in the bay, you'd drop your mother overboard and tell her to hold her nose.
You're getting out of line, Regan.
If she came up with kelp, you'd ring her out for iodine.
That's enough. We got a case, and you're going to handle it.
You're going to handle it. I quit.
And I know this girl looks suspicious, but we have to give our clients the benefit of the doubt.
Why didn't you send her to missing persons?
I'll keep this picture and check with them first thing in the morning. You follow up that Menlo in the letter.
Well, a guy named Chambers has got priority.
Who's that?
The girl's got a love story.
It's getting cold out here. Check me in the morning.
I'll do that.
Remember, Regan, we always work hand in hand.
Yeah. That's why I never wear a ring. Well, it was too late to do anything else, so I went home and pulled that bed out of the wall. The next morning, I found a Martin Chambers listed in the city directory with an address on Laurel. Turned out to be a 2-story apartment building about the color of a bride's blush. And it was wrapped around a swimming pool the size of a bird bath. Chambers' name wasn't on the mailbox, but a skinny guy with a load of bed sheets told me I could find the manager in apartment 15. When she answered the door, her voice sounded like a beer truck in low gear.
Hello, Sonny. Looking for an apartment?
You got one?
No. Come on in. Having some coffee. You want some?
No, I'll pass.
You don't know me, do you?
I just got here.
I played the Palace in 26. Ah, them was the days.
Write it up and sell it to the movies.
Damn slobs. Central Casting had called me in 4 years.
You got a card?
AFRA, SAG, and the Musicians Union. I play French horn. None of them call me. I figure it's a record band.
I'll talk to Petrillo.
I hate this dump. My third husband gave it to me. By the way, what are you doing here, Sonny?
I'm looking for a man named Martin Chambers.
What do you want him for?
Talk to him.
Cop?
No.
The day that guy moved in, I had him pegged for a gigolo. His hair was too curly.
Well, Some women like that.
Not me. I used to have to chase him around the swimming pool to get his rent.
You're using the past tense. Where is he now?
Forest lawn.
That's one way to break a lease.
He got boozed up about 6 months ago and drove off Malibu Pier. Took them 3 days to fish him out.
Straighten his hair?
Yeah, it sure did. Oh, wait a minute here. I kind of like you, Sonny. You get around, don't you?
Yeah, when the weather's good.
Ever run into Louis B?
No, not yet.
If you do, mention my name, will you?
What is it?
Just say that Goldie McMasters was asking for him. He'll remember old Goldie.
How could he forget?
Allison 26. Let's back to
When I left, she was thumbing through an old variety. She looked unhappy, like a banjo player with a paper pick. Well, what she told me about Chambers took the leading man out of the picture, but there was a bit player named Menlo. Well, I called the office of a Paul Menlo, but they said he wasn't in that day, so I drove out to his address in Encino. It was a ranch house poured all over the top of a hill. From the looks of the place, Dr. Menlo must have been getting over-sealing for his cough drops. I parked my car by the gate and followed the flagstones up to the front door. When I pressed a button, I heard something that sounded like chamber music. The door opened in the middle of the second chorus.
Good morning.
I want to see Dr. Menlo.
Your name, please?
Regan.
You'll have to call the doctor's office, Mr. Regan.
I already did.
And they must have told you the doctor doesn't see any patients at his home.
Yeah, well, I'm not sick.
Keep it up and you will be. Beat it, Pilgrim.
No, I came here to see the doctor.
He don't want to see you.
All right, get your hands off me, punk.
Once I hit a guy in the ear, it busted his leg.
Oh.
I can handle this guy, Vicky.
Stop that. Get out, Mac.
I'll be in the back if you want.
You ever been a referee?
I've been a lot of things. Come in, Mr. Regan. I apologize for him. He's so eager. Isn't this better?
No, everybody's eager now.
Anxious is a better word. I like Blue Surge. Has an effect on me.
You're the doctor's helper?
I hold his stethoscope. My name's Vicky Starr.
I'd like to see him.
He's busy.
Where do I wait?
Might be quite a while. He just opened the bottle.
Well, then I'm right on time.
Paul's not sociable like me. He drinks alone. He gets more that way. Let me entertain you.
What can you do?
Watch.
Oh, no, easy, baby. I don't know how to fix a fracture.
I've already got a man that can do that. I want one with the brains.
What's the matter with the doctor?
He keeps his in cold storage. Hasn't used them for a long time now.
Oh, I don't know. He's done all right.
This place? He'd be selling papers if his wife hadn't left him a good insurance policy.
Don't you like his money?
Don't get me wrong. I like being secure, but the girl has feelings, too.
Mm-hmm. They're beginning to show.
I'm glad I met you.
Why?
We're going to have some nice afternoons.
It's football season.
I have some free time. Want to hear me on the piano, for instance?
No, I don't sing.
I'll teach you. Paul says I should have an outside interest.
Well, keep looking. You'll find one.
You smile good, but you talk nasty.
You started this conversation, sis.
Max is still in the kitchen.
I came here to see Menlo.
You didn't say what about?
I'll tell him.
There's the phone. Call and make an appointment.
Yeah, I'll do.
Oh, Vicky, who is it this time?
His name's Regan. He hasn't got a business card.
Have Max show him out.
You Dr. Menlo?
Yes, but I turned all my patients over to another doctor.
Yeah, well, I know one you forgot.
Tell me who.
Carmen Sanchez.
Go ahead, Vicky. I'll talk to him.
Watch yourself, Paul. He doesn't know how to be nice.
It'll only take a minute.
I'll crack the mic.
Good nurse.
She's out of uniform.
We're casual. You said I had a patient named Carmen Sanchez. Who told you that?
Somebody she knew?
Your relative?
Friend.
You heard some wrong information, mister. I never heard of Carmen Sanchez.
I read about you in a letter.
Must have been another Menlo.
No, there's only one with a license.
You peaked, too. 25 a day?
10. I work for another guy.
Who?
Lion.
Lion's Eye. Okay. You're still at the wrong house.
You want to show me your files?
Why not? Come on.
Okay.
They keep a duplicate at home. Help yourself. Want a drink?
Too early.
You don't mind if I have one?
No.
Anything?
Not under Sanchez, no.
Now, do you believe me?
She could have used another name.
Got any ideas?
Blonde girl, 5'4", brown eyes.
Means nothing.
Do you ever know a man named Chambers?
Yeah. In high school, back in Denver. Drove a truck.
That doesn't help.
I'm sort of retired now.
Yeah, that's what Vicky said.
Nice girl. Talks to everybody. You satisfied?
Not yet.
Don't mention. Always glad to help out. There's easier ways to make a living.
Yeah, I haven't got a wife with an insurance policy.
A year ago, I'd have broke you in half for that. Now, it doesn't matter. You can find the door.
I'll be back.
Don't bother, Regan. Doctor will be out.
I left him sitting there with a glass of rye in his hand. It wasn't much of an interview, but there was a story somewhere. What Menlo didn't have in his files, he was keeping in his head, and figured he might open up if I showed him that snapshot in the letter. Well, I drove back to town. I put in a call to the Lion. Nobody answered at the office, so I went home. When I opened my door, I caught a load of taboo. Isabel Sanchez was wearing a dress she must have put on with a shoehorn.
You've got the nicest janitor. He thinks I'm your sister.
Where'd you meet him?
He was in the lobby when I came in. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, well, we got an office, you know.
No one answered when I rang. I wanted to be sure and see you before I left.
Taking a trip?
I leave for Mexico City first thing in the morning.
Well, it was a short visit.
It was long enough.
What about your sister?
That's what I came here to tell you. I found Carmen.
Oh, you did?
Or rather, Carmen found me. I feel foolish now, calling in a detective service and all that.
Why?
Well, Carmen came to my hotel about noon today. And you imagine she's been looking for me.
Last night you said she didn't have an address.
Well, that was another silly thing. Only it was her mistake. She's not very good at details.
Where is she now?
Well, she's out buying a few things and packing. I've convinced her to come home with me.
All right. Now you want to know what I found?
Why on earth should I? I have my sister.
You were worried about a man named Chambers last night.
Carmen told me she hasn't seen him for months.
Did she tell you about her doctor?
No.
I met him. Only he said he never saw her.
Oh, is that so? Well, Mr. Regan, I do appreciate your services. Please thank Mr. Lyon for his kindness. I'm sorry I won't be able to see him.
Yeah, he's going to be sorry, too.
You'll give him this envelope. There's $100 in it.
You're paid up.
It's for all the unnecessary trouble I've caused you. And, Mr. Regan, it's all confidential.
You read the contract.
I wouldn't want any of this to get back. The wrong people.
You know some of the wrong kind, do you?
Doesn't everyone? Thank you again. Bye.
Hello?
You run any expenses on this thing today?
No, I didn't.
Good. It's all over.
Isabel said she didn't see you.
There's a guy named Gallagher in missing persons. Got an eye like an eagle. He took one look at that snapshot and opened a file.
What kind of file?
Dead and unclaimed.
What do you mean?
Carmen Sanchez has been dead a year, and the county buried her.
You are listening to the story of the lost lady, tonight's adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator. Before we continue with tonight's story, here's an important message from the Adjutant General's office. The Army Nurse Corps Reserve still has commissions available for graduate registered nurses between the ages of 21 and 45. If you believe you qualify for a commission in the Army Nurse Corps Reserve, apply to the Adjutant General, Washington, D.C. And now, back to the story of the lost lady and Jeff Regan, Investigator.
Well, there are enough angles in this thing to write a new geometry book. Isabel Sanchez came to Los Angeles to find her sister, Carmen. She called in the Lion, who started me digging. A doctor named Menlo out in Encino used a milk bottle for a jigger. He was heavy on green stuff, but light on memory, and gave me nothing but an ice cube. His girlfriend, Vicky, was a little different. She gave me a warm glow, but I still drew a blank on the missing sister. Then Isabel walked into my place and said she found Carmen and called off the chase. That's about when the lion rang and said that he'd found her, too, only his version was a little different. She was holding down a plot in the county cemetery, been dead a year. Well, I caught a cab and I went over to her hotel. The small man with a bald head opened the door and looked at me like I was trying to crash a coming-out party.
Yes?
I'm looking for Isabel Sanchez.
Are you a friend?
She won't think so.
She's not available.
All right, I'll wait.
What I mean is, could you come back later?
What's wrong with her now?
Well, you see...
All right, come on, Buster. Let's throw it in gear.
Are you a guest of the hotel?
No.
Could you please tell me the nature of your business?
I want to see Isabel.
I'm sorry. I can't let you in until you tell me who you are.
Regan, International Detective Bureau. She's a client.
Oh, come in. I'm Dr. Stanwyck, the house physician.
She need one?
Not anymore. Look for yourself.
Uh-huh. How long's she been this way?
2 hours, I'd say. Bellboy found her a few minutes ago. She drank a lot. Alcoholic poisoning.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Regan, when a thing like this occurs, naturally, we don't like it to get around to the other guests. You'll use discretion, I presume.
I'll be as quiet as she is.
Thank you, Mr. Regan. We appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
The elevator's to your right.
I got a good memory.
Regan,
What are you doing here?
I come to talk to our client.
You'll need a Ouija board.
What you mean?
She's dead.
Why'd you let that happen?
She wouldn't have done you any good.
What you talking about?
Yeah, all right. You go to Isabel. You say her sister's buried on the county, but it'll take a little cash to keep it out of the newspapers.
Not so now.
Go back to your contest blanks, big shot. That Sanchez name didn't come from Mexico, and she wasn't rich.
You mean she's been lying?
I told you that yesterday.
All right, we'll close the Sanchez case.
Oh, no, we won't. It's still wide open.
Where you going?
To buy an Airwick. Well, I went down to the Hall of Records. It's a brown building off Temple that leans over like an old lady with a short cane. I took the elevator upstairs, and I walked down to vital statistics. The place was empty, except for a guy sitting behind the desk. He had on a black suit with dust on the shoulders. His fingernails were dirty, and he was reading a dictionary. He must have been at a good part, because he looked mad when I nudged him.
Venado da Paz. Quick shove it.
I want some information.
That's what I'm here for. I'm a public servant.
Now, let's get to the death files, will you?
You're a morbid guy. You got a lot of stuff on births and marriages. Ask me something about that.
Carmen Sanchez died a year ago in August. Tell me what from.
Okay. How'd you spell it?
Just like it sounds.
Sanchez. 17. Solas. Sanaki. Santa. Oh. That's what happened to old Sandy. No wonder I ain't seen him around.
Get to Sanchez.
All right. I got the Sanchez. Carmen. 22, date of death, 8/30/47. Alcoholic poisoning. She drank a lot.
Who signed the certificate?
P.E. Menlo, M.D.
Thanks.
Next time, make it something hard.
All right. Try this. Menlo's wife died about the same time.
Masters, Marie, Melbourne, Babbitt, Menlo. Sylvia, 34, 9/2/47. Alcoholic poisoning.
Certification?
P.E. Menlo. That guy can't keep a patient.
Well, I left and I went back out into the street. It was almost 5 and the traffic was heavy. I started to cross the street to a sandwich shop on the corner. A yellow cab raced me to the sidewalk, but I won. I went inside, and a skinny waitress with peanut-colored hair brought me a cup of stale coffee and a burnt hamburger. I sat there and I tried to figure it. It was like swimming through a tidal wave in hip boots. 3 deaths from the same thing and Menlo's name on every one of them. Well, the answers weren't in the coffee cup, so I went home, picked up my car, and drove out to Menlo's place in Encino. The drive was nice, and so was the reception.
I built a fire.
I forgot the marshmallows.
We'll think of something else. You know, I'm not mad anymore.
I'm still looking for your doctor.
Let me take care of it.
No, I want to see him.
And you'll have to wait again.
When's he going to climb out of that bottle?
We had dinner at a place on Ventura. Paul found the bar. He'll stay till it closes.
I better go there.
Questions again?
Maybe.
I know some swell answers.
I'll bet you do.
I've worked for him a long time.
1 year.
How did you know? This is my night off.
You here all alone?
Isn't it terrible? Anything could happen. How do you like it?
Your way?
That's better. Now, let's have a nice, quiet evening. Just you and me. I had a feeling you'd be back.
Is that why you wore that?
Like it?
Well, you got talent, lady.
Discover me. It's been a famine of men like you.
You don't look underfed.
Why didn't I meet you sooner?
We didn't travel in the same crowd.
Let's start over.
Do you keep his files?
What's that got to do with us?
They'd never pass inspection.
Are you talking about something I should know?
Carmen Sanchez.
What about her?
She died. Menlo signed her death certificate.
Paul's lost a lot of patience. He's not very good. Did I tell you I played the piano?
You told me some other things.
Did I?
They make a good story.
I don't like stories.
Well, I'm going to tell you anyway.
I thought we were going to have a nice, quiet evening.
A girl walked in his office one day and dropped dead.
Good opening. Why'd she do that?
Alcoholic poisoning. She was a nobody named Carmen Sanchez.
The story's getting dull.
There was a snapshot in her pocketbook, not much else.
When does the action begin?
Right now, lady. The doctor's wife had an insurance policy. He convinced her to take a trip.
Why'd he want to do a thing like that?
So he could pull a name fix and collect his wife's insurance. He had a body.
No one will ever believe this plot.
He buried an empty box.
How do you know?
I'm going to have somebody dig it up.
What about the body?
He turned that over to the county.
Everybody lives happy ever after. Don't you like my music?
You're going to have to take up the harmonica, lady.
Why?
The gas chamber isn't big enough for a piano.
Who's going to the gas chamber?
You, maybe. And insurance fraud's one thing. Murder's a longer rap.
You haven't touched your drink.
I don't like mine that strong. Now, come on, lady. Get your coat.
Max!
I thought you were alone.
I lied.
Hello, Regan. You look excited.
He's tough, Max.
Yeah, that's easy.
Soften him up.
Oh.
I was in a white room when the trip ended. I tried to move my head, but it felt like a grand piano. So I just lay there. Pretty soon somebody put something damp on my face, and I began to see things. Vicky was there, Max. So was Menlo. If I'd have had a deck of cards, you could have played a pinochle game. Menlo looked kind of upset, like an ostrich with a sore throat. He had a needle in his hand. I get the shakes.
You're all right, Paul. Now go ahead.
Just like Isabella.
You should have stayed out, Regan.
Oh, I wanted one more look at you, baby.
I hate to see the nice ones go, but it'll all be over in a minute. All right, Paul.
Give me a drink, Vicky.
Never mind. Hurry up.
Let me have a drink.
Oh, you're too slow, Max.
Yeah? Keep away from me, Max. I'll kill you.
Yeah. Put down that
keep
gun.
away from me as well.
Oh,
I told you to keep away.
Oh. Menlo slugged for care of Max, but Vicky shot Menlo twice. And his knees knocked together. He began to pitch around like a toy balloon in a hurricane. He dropped his gun, but he held onto the needle. Then he slumped forward and made a grab for Vicky, and they both went down. He jammed the needle into her arm.
Here.
Same stuff you used on Isabel?
Yeah. Alcoholic boys.
I'll straighten them out.
Regan, hold my head.
Yeah. Here.
Call a doctor.
He'd never make it.
Please, Regan. Call a doctor.
Give me 5 good reasons.
5 good reasons? I got Vicky. I'll never use a needle again. And
You only gave me 2. Well, we didn't hear from the suburbs, but there were enough ballots to make it an election. Homicide got the insurance commissioner down there, and he threw in a vote. Seems that Isabel Sanchez was Menlo's wife, only her name was Sylvia. When a dame named Carmen Sanchez dropped dead in his office, Menlo got kind of ambitious. He talked his wife into the switch, and, well, everything might have worked out. Except one night when he was seeing elephants, he told Vicky the whole thing. She set the squeeze play with Max in the dugout. When Sylvia got back and saw how things were, she called herself Isabel Sanchez and went to the line with a story about a lost sister. I was hired for scare work, and when she figured they had enough, she called me off, but it didn't take. And you know the rest. Well, the insurance company issued a fee for exposing a defraud, and the Lion got his picture on page 1. It was right next to Vicky's. She was wearing one of those French swimming suits. The Lion said that'd do us a lot of good. It did. We each got a free bathing suit.
Jack Webb is featured as Jeff Regan with Herb Butterfield as Anthony J. Lyon. It's CBS at the same time next week for more hard-boiled action and mystery with Jeff Regan, Investigator. Written by E. Jack Newman and Larry Roman. Produced by Sterling Tracy. The role of Vicky Starr was played by Yvonne Patey. Lorraine Tuttle was Isabel Sanchez. Ken Christie played Dr. Paul Menlo. And Larry Dobkin was Max Brenner. Original music for this program is by Milton Charles. Bob Stevenson speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the Juvenile Bureau. The high schools in your city have been flooded with obscene literature. You stamp out one source, and a dozen more spring up. Your job, stop them.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So, enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild. Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, October 21st. It was cool in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Juvenile Bureau. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Inspector Lester, commander of the Juvenile Bureau. My name's Friday. It was 10 a.m. when we got to the auditorium of Canfield High School. Stage door.
Guess we go right out onto the stage.
Yeah, we better wait till we're called, though, huh?
You're the man from the police department?
Yes, sir. This is Sergeant Romero. My name's Friday.
How do you do? How do you do? I'm Paul Fisher, the principal here. Come right out onto the stage and get the meeting started.
Yeah, all right. That's it.
Just have a chair there.
Thank you.
Is the microphone on? Ladies and gentlemen of the Coordinating Council, members of the Parent Teachers Association. As you know, this meeting has been called for the purpose of discussing ways and means to bring about an end to the distribution of the filthy and obscene books and pamphlets that have been littering every high school campus in the city of Los Angeles. We've tried every means at our disposal to clean this matter up, and they all seem to fail. On the advice of the Coordinating Council and Mrs. Regan of the PTA, we've called in the authorities. Here to discuss the matter with us this morning are two officers connected with the Juvenile Bureau of our police department, Sergeant Romero and Sergeant Friday. And now, may I turn the meeting over to Sergeant Friday of the Los Angeles Police Department.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the only way we're going to get to the bottom of this thing and put a stop to it is to get all the information we can on where this lascivious material is coming from. Now, you people, as parents and teachers of the children who are buying and reading this stuff, might be able to give us some help. So, if it's all right with you, Mr. Fisher, I'd like to hear from some of the people sitting out there, if I may.
Certainly. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Well, if any of you people have anything to say or any information, any questions, why, we'd be glad to listen to you and do our best to answer your questions. Yes, the lady out there, go right ahead.
I'm Mrs. Stein. I know of a place in our neighborhood that has dirty books. I feel sure that that's one of the places where the children are getting this trash. Complaints have been made to the police department, but the man who runs the place has never been arrested. Can you tell me why?
Well, ma'am, I think I'd better make it clear now that there's only one way a police officer can arrest anyone for possession of lewd literature. The officer has to prove that the party who possesses this literature does so for the purpose of selling it. Sometimes that's difficult to prove.
Well, I told you I can prove it.
You mean you can go to this place and buy a book from him?
If I were known.
Yes, ma'am, that's just the point. Now, I don't know offhand about the one in your neighborhood, but I can assure you that we've cracked down on hundreds of such peddlers in the past few months. And you can see for yourselves that this doesn't put a stop to it. We've got to get to the source.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir?
My name's Fred Scott. I'm director of the Square Shooters Boys Club.
Yes, sir.
The point I'm trying to make is, I know the young boys pretty well. With the exception of my boys, 49 in number, I'll wager just about every boy in this high school has one of those books. Or at least he's seen one.
Yes, sir, we're aware of that.
The point I'm trying to make is, somewhere in the municipal code, there's got to be a law to forbid such things.
Yes, sir, there is such a law.
Then why isn't it enforced?
It is.
What does the law say?
Well, how do you mean, sir?
Well, I mean, what happens when somebody's found guilty of selling these books? What's the penalty?
Oh, well, the law states that an offender is liable to fines, a jail term of 6 months, or both.
That's not much of a law, is it? Why isn't there a stronger law?
Well, I wouldn't know that, sir.
The point I'm trying to make is, we need laws with some teeth in them.
We have good laws in the state of California for the most part. It's true that we're weak in some cases, but you can say that about most states, I think.
Well, you may be satisfied with the laws, but I'm not. I say stronger laws. That's the answer.
No, I don't think it is, Mr. Scott. Passing a set of new laws isn't going to make this city a cleaner or a safer place for your boys to grow up in. Laws don't decide how moral a city's going to be. People do. Laws don't mold character in young boys either. The parents and teachers do that.
I don't think I know what you're getting at. What do you mean?
Well, just this, Mr. Scott. It's our job on the police department to keep filthy junk like these books from falling into youngsters' hands.
Yes?
Now, on the other side of the fence, the youngster has to be taught to recognize this obscene material for what it is, filth and garbage. And the youngsters have to be taught that in the home, in the school, and the church. Now, if they can be made to understand that the kind of dirt and filth these books represent, well, that'd be worth more than any new set of laws, wouldn't it?
But what about these men who put out the books? The men who sell them? How do you reach them?
Through the youngsters. They seem to know the way. The next morning at 8 a.m., after meeting with Inspector Lester of Juvenile Bureau, Ben and I went on stakeout at Canfield High School. From past experience, we knew there was little hope of a quick end to the case. It was going to be a long haul, tracing the source all the way up the line from the high school kids who bought the filthy books to the small fry pushers, the wholesalers, and finally, we hoped, to the top, the man who printed the books. We had no illusions on that score. Generally, with the arrest of his pushers and other small-timers who work for him, the top man gets the alarm and clears out before the police officer can apprehend him with evidence that will stand up in court. During the first 2 days at Canfield High, Ben and I found out nothing. The obscene literature was being bartered and exchanged between students, but the main source of supply was still a mystery. We had one slim lead to go on. Mr. Fisher, the high school principal, helped run it down.
We've been watching that boy down in the yard since yesterday, Miss Fisher. Seems to have quite a bit of spending money, expensive clothes, car of his own.
I don't know that boy's family. They could be well-fed.
We saw him with a stack of those dirty books in his notebook. He must have had a dozen of them. He was showing them around to his crowd.
Travers, are you sure?
Joe, take a look down there.
Yeah. Yeah, Travers is showing him something. I can't see what it is.
Come over to this side of the window.
Yeah.
Small books. He's giving them to one of the other fellows.
They've got their wallets out. They're giving Travers money.
Come on, Ben. You better come too, Mr. Fisher.
This way out to the yard?
No, to the left. That's it.
Let's hurry, huh?
This door, Sergeant. Right here. Travers.
Hello, Mr. Fisher.
I'd like to talk to you.
Yeah?
Now, these men here are from the police department. They want to ask you some questions.
Can we go inside?
Come on.
What's the matter, Mr. Fisher? I haven't done anything.
Oh, you see. Come on.
What is it? What's it all about?
Sergeant?
It'll be a lot easier if we have the truth now, son. Did you just sell those boys out there some dirty books?
No, I mean, it's only a gag. They're funny books.
Have you got any more of them on you?
Yes, sir.
Can we see them, please?
I didn't steal them. Only books. Funny books. Here.
Thanks.
Almost a dozen.
Mm-hmm. You think these are funny books, do you, Travis?
Well, some of them. I guess not. It's only a gag, Sergeant.
Where'd you get them?
I didn't steal them. I bought them off a guy.
Who?
Why? I can't tell you.
Do you have any more of these books?
No, sir.
Will you show us your locker?
I can't remember the combination. It's a new locker.
Could you open the locker for us, Mr. Fisher?
Yes, but I'll have to get the maintenance man.
All right, I'll show you. Come on. Down here, sir. This one. 412. I've only got a couple.
All right, we'll see.
Come on, open it.
I haven't done anything.
Here's a sample, Joe. Locker's loaded down with them.
Rotten filth.
You can't arrest me. I don't sell the books. I only rent them.
Somebody's been briefing you. Who?
You're only making it hard on yourself, boy.
You can't prove anything. These are my books. I don't sell them.
Where do you get them? Who sold them to you?
Nobody. I got them, that's all.
All right. We'll have to talk to your folks.
You can't. They're away. No, you can't. Don't.
Afraid we'll have to, son.
Oh, please don't tell them. Please don't let them know I'll do anything.
All right, let's have the truth then. Who are you selling the books for?
His name's Barney. That's all I know. I meet him at a cigar store downtown, 5th and Harrison.
Does he sell you the books?
He gives them to me. I sell them and then give him the money. I get 10 cents for every one I sell.
How much do you sell them for?
25 cents. Some are $1. I get 30 cents for those.
The boys in this school have been paying that kind of money for this film?
Yes, sir.
This man who gives you these books, you know where he lives?
No, sir. I haven't any idea.
When are you going to see him?
Well, this is Wednesday. I was going to meet him downtown this afternoon.
The cigar store?
Yes, sir. But I don't want to get Barney in trouble. He's been okay to me.
Sure. He's done a lot for you. 4 p.m. Wednesday. Ben and I drove downtown with 16-year-old Eddie Travers. We parked the car near the corner of 5th and Harrison and kept an eye on the cigar store. We waited.
No sign yet, Travers?
No, sir. Barney usually waits by the newsstand there. I haven't seen him yet.
How long you been selling for this man, son?
About 3 months, maybe 4.
Any idea where he gets the books?
Well, Oh, just a minute, Sergeant.
Yeah?
I think... Yeah, that's Barney, the one going up to the cigar counter.
The man in the gray suit there?
Yeah, that's him. He's going into Juanita's Cafe.
Is that where you usually go after you meet him?
Yes, sir.
You better take the boy back to the office, Ben. I'll tail this guy and see what I can find out.
Okay, you want me to pick you up later?
I'll call you at the office. Oh, you got any matches?
No, I'm out.
I'll pick some up at the cigar stand.
Right. See you later.
Yeah. Box of matches?
Yep.
And a pack of spearmint, too.
All right, sir. Much obliged. Got a special on Old Typical New Bourbon today. $2.69 a fifth.
No, thanks.
Hey, Rosie. Rosie, another tamale when you get time, huh?
All right, buddy. Just a minute. Yes, sir.
Let me have chicken tacos, side order of fried beans, and a cup of coffee, huh?
Chicken tacos on one. Side of beans. Another tamale. Anything else, Barney?
Yeah, some more coffee, huh, Rosie?
Tamale on one.
Hey. Slide the ketchup down here, will you?
Yeah, here you go.
Thanks. They got good tacos in there. Lots of meat of them. It's fresh stuff.
Yeah.
There's the sugar.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Rosie. Here. Here, Rosie.
Yeah.
Got some new ones in just today. Whole stack of them.
What are you talking about?
You know, the picture books. Good ones. You can make some money on the side. They sound good around here.
Listen, Barney, I told you once, no.
Oh, come on, here. Look them over. These are good ones.
I said no, that lousy junk. The next time you bring that stuff in here, I tell the boss, understand? Now eat and get out.
Well, that's a real funny day. Looks great, but boy, what a cold potato.
Yeah?
Come on. Come on, eat and get out and take that junk with you.
Nah, cold potato. I don't like to challenge anyway.
Well, coffee's certainly cold.
Yeah. Yep. You probably get a big boot out of these. You look.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good quality stuff. Yeah. Give me that little book there. Let me show you one. Wait a minute. Yeah. Wouldn't that kill you?
Yeah. How about sell me one of them?
Okay. 4 bits for the small ones, $1 for the big one. Wait a minute. Let's see, I got 14 of them here. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make you a deal. You can have the whole works for $10.
Okay. You got any more?
Well, you going in business for yourself?
No, I got a newsstand out in Riverside. Books, I guess, ought to go fast. I think I can probably handle another $25 worth.
Ah. I got the rest of them back at the hotel. Someone red color.
Yeah?
You want to meet me there tonight? Around 7?
Where's the hotel?
Well, you go straight up 6th Street from here. It's just 1 block on your left. Call the Denver House. I'm in room 337.
You going up there now?
Well, I was supposed to meet some guy, but... Yeah, we can go now. How about a check, Rosie, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, you'll probably be wanting more of these. I can put you on my mailing list.
Okay. The prices are right. I don't want to pay retail.
Nah, we can work out a deal. Come on, let's go.
Okay.
Hey, that Rosie, huh? She's really put together.
Yeah?
Too bad. A real cold potato, though.
Some are like that.
Yeah.
No sense of humor. We left Juanita's Cafe and walked up Harrison Street to 6th. We turned left and went down 1 block. It was 5 minutes to 5 when we got to Barney's room in the Denver house, number 337. He dragged out a steamer trunk from under the bed and counted out a stack of books and pamphlets covering the general topic of degenerate filth in stories and photographs.
Okay, Mac, there you are. That's $25 worth. Pay the money, the bucks are all yours.
Okay. Here you go. Yes. 10, 15, 18. I'll have to give you a check for the rest.
How do I know it's any good? You could take off. I'd never see you again.
You'll see me. You're under arrest.
Huh? Hey, you're kidding. Ain't let go.
All right, let's hold it right here.
Hey, wait a minute. Oh, now, look, Lieutenant, we can work this thing out.
We'll work it out downtown.
Oh, wait a minute. I can set this thing right for you.
Where are you getting this junk? Who's supplying you?
Oh, look, why not use your head? You never get the top man. Not in 10 years you won't.
We got lots of time. Come on.
You are listening to Dragnet, the case history of a police investigation presented in the public interest by Fatima Cigarettes.
If you smoke a long cigarette, it will be in your interest to listen to a typical case history of a Fatima smoker.
It's the case of Mr. Joseph G. Hertzberg, city editor of one of New York's great newspapers, and this is his actual signed statement.
I recommend Fatimas to anyone who likes a king-size cigarette. In my business, the long hours really put smoking to the test. Working overtime means smoking overtime. And that has sold me on Fatima's. No matter how often I light up, Fatima gives me an extra mild smoke. And Fatima flavor, it's much better every time. I've found out it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
And more smokers are discovering this every day. Actual figures show Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So enjoy Fatima yourself.
The long cigarette, which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make it extra mild.
You will prefer Fatima's much different, much better flavor.
You will agree.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
The best of all long cigarettes.
The filthy literature racket feeds on the curiosity of youngsters and the stupidity and ignorance of adults. It's an all-season business, and in its own quiet way, it has reached a market which the other heavy rackets never hoped to reach. Your home and your children. 6 p.m., Wednesday, October 23rd. We checked the records, and the make sheet showed the book peddler's true name to be Barney W. Timpson, 38 years old. He had a past record of one previous conviction for peddling lewd literature in Dodge City, Iowa, in March 1948. We had him brought to the interrogation room.
Sit down, Timpson.
Let's make it easy, Barney. Where are you getting the books?
I told you, Sergeant, they deliver them to me.
Who does?
Different guys. I don't remember them all. They send different guys every time.
How often do they make the deliveries to you?
Once a month.
When?
Around the first, usually. Sometimes maybe the second and the third.
They bring the books to your hotel?
Yeah, they leave a pack up in the lobby addressed to me.
They ever use the mails?
They never do. They're not that dumb.
So you've never seen the men that you do business with?
Not so I'd know them, no.
You have no idea where they're operating from?
I don't know.
You expect us to swallow that?
I'm telling you, I don't know.
Oh, don't push us that kind of a story, Barney.
I'm giving it to you straight. Now, what else do you want?
Who's the supply man?
Hey, look, we found this notebook in your hotel room, Barney. There's a list of names in it. This your customer book?
Friend. Okay, the customer.
That gives us enough to land on you.
I know that. I've told you everything.
You still don't know who you're working for?
No.
Look, there's a phone number in this notebook. No name to go with it.
Yeah.
Now, look at it. This one right here.
I don't know. Must be another customer. Yeah.
Does it belong to the boss?
I don't know the boss. You don't know me.
Then who do you buy the books from?
Who says I buy them?
You must owe somebody a lot of money.
Don't worry. I don't owe him nothing. He don't owe me nothing.
He does now.
What?
You're going to jail for him. Barney Timpson was booked into Central Jail for violation of the Penal Code, Section 311.3. We contacted the telephone company, and they traced the extra phone number in Timpson's notebook to a private residence on Wonderview Drive in Laurel Canyon. A detail of men was assigned to stake out on the place. During the next week, mainly from information obtained from Barney Timpson's customers, 7 other peddlers of obscene books and pamphlets were taken into custody and questioned. 5 of the 7 told us they picked up their supply of books from the Laurel Canyon address. We moved in on the place and found thousands of lewd books and pamphlets stored in the garage. 3 men on the premises were taken into custody. They identified themselves as John Alexander, George Kelleher, and Raymond Kester. We brought them downtown and interrogated them for 2 hours. They refused to admit anything. They were booked in, but by noon their lawyers arrived and they were released on writs of habeas corpus. 2 p.m. Ben and I met with Inspector Lester of Juvenile Bureau. Just had a call from the men on stakeout at the Laurel Canyon place. They've just been over the garage where the books are stored.
They get anything, Skipper?
A couple of things. Might be fair leads.
What's that?
3 stacks of books they found were wrapped in proof letterheads from the Havenbrook Hotel.
Yeah?
We checked with the hotel. They get all their printing done at Rudolph Brothers, placed out in West L.A.
That name's not familiar to me.
It's a big layout. Their specialty is religious books, Bible, things like that.
That doesn't add.
Not so sure.
How do you mean?
Be a perfect cover for the racket. Printing the Bible one day and a flock of filthy books the next. Could be the setup.
What kind of a name does this Rudolph's place have around town? They been here long?
50 years. Good reputation.
Well, we could give it a look.
Where's the place?
On West 3rd, just below Athens Street.
All right.
Check the place over, but don't make them suspicious. If there's anything wrong, no use tipping until we're ready to move.
All right, Skipper.
They got to reach the presses turning out this junk and choke off the supply where it starts. Do that and we got it beat.
Right.
Just a minute. Funeral door, listen. Yes, Sam. Down where? Okay, they'll be right out. Gross and Pacelli, they spotted one of the delivery cars.
Where?
Downtown. They followed it out to West L.A.
Yeah?
Rudolph's printing shop.
4 p.m. Ben and I, together with 2 other men from Juvenile Bureau, drove out Beverly Boulevard to Athens Street and down 1 block to the corner of West 3rd where we picked up Gross and Pacelli on stakeout. The Rudolph Brothers Printing Company covered almost half a square block on the corner of West 3rd and Athens. The front of the plant had display windows featuring expensive leather-bound Bibles and other religious literature. While the other men remained on stakeout, Ben and I crossed the street and entered the plant. We introduced ourselves to the clerk in charge as potential wholesale customers, and we asked to be shown around the shop. It was more than obliging.
I'd be happy to show you our plant, gentlemen. The most modern religious publication company in the West. That's our claim. Oh, would you step this way, please?
Thank you.
On your left there, those are 3 of our new Ludlow machines. Excellent mechanisms, needless to say.
Mm-hmm. You must employ quite a few men in here.
65 full-time. Enough to meet any emergency West jobs you might want done. Now, over here are Bush Emerson hand presses.
Oh. You handle only religious books then, huh? Nothing else?
That's right, sir. We specialize exclusively in that.
You don't take in any small contracts, school journals, things like that?
No, our steady customers take up all of our time. Here on this stone, you see the pages of a new prayer book we're getting together. Very ultra.
Mm-hmm.
An entirely different kind of typeface.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, and back there, along the wall, are new linotypes. The very latest, monotypes. Then the proof presses. Next to them are proof readers. And the flatbed trussload press beyond that.
Seems like lots of activity. Business is pretty good, I guess, huh?
Oh, yes, we're kept pretty busy. Quality printing is always in demand.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for showing us around.
Not at all, gentlemen. Anytime. Here, this way out.
All right.
I'll get you one of my cards here. There you are.
Oh, thank you.
And when you're ready to do business, why, just give me a call. I'd be glad to take care of you.
All right, sure, thanks. We'll do that.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
All right.
All right. What do you think?
You got me. Nothing out of place.
Yeah, whatever system they're using, you got it down pat.
Bibles, prayer books, church announcements, that's all I saw.
Hey, Ben, look. That man getting out of that car going into Rudolph's there?
Alexander, the guy we picked up this morning out in Lower Canyon.
Yeah. Printing plant continued. 6 p.m. The lights in the display windows went out. The shades were drawn. We watched the employees leave. 6:30 p.m. The lights in the plant were still burning. Gross went down to the corner and picked up some hot dogs and coffee for our dinner. We ate in the car. 7:30 p.m. A black Cadillac convertible pulled up across the street. 2 men got out and let themselves in through the front door. We waited. Between 7:30 and 8 p.m., we counted 21 men entering the plant.
That printing press, it's starting up.
Okay, let's move. Oh, yeah. Gross, you and Pacelli want to go through the back, and Ben and I will take the front.
Right, let's go, Mike.
It's a neat setup. I had it all figured.
Yeah, you didn't spot any side entrances, did you?
No. Here we are.
Want to try the door?
Yeah, it's no good.
All right.
Who is it?
Police officers, open up. All right, come on, open up.
The press is up.
All right, let's hit it quick. Come on, again. There we go.
There they are, Joe.
They're trying to smash the plates. Come on.
Pacelli! Pacelli, save those plates!
Watch it, Ben. All right, come on.
All right, you. All right, hold it.
Title against the wall. Hey, Gross, get those plates off the press, will you? All right, hold it, you two.
Joe, look out!
All right.
Get the plates, Joe!
I round up those men and keep the doors covered.
Get away from those tables. Come on over to the wall. That's about most of them, Joe.
Those 2 men going out the door. Come on, head them off, will you?
Come on, you. Come on, back in. Get out. Wait, get your hands over.
Hold it up, mister. Come on, over there with the rest.
You'll pay for this. I'll sue you down your last nick.
Yeah, come on, simmer down.
Hey, Joe, we got Rudolph going out the back.
Right. Call the office, will you? We're going to need transportation.
Okay.
Take those 2 with you, huh?
Right. Come on.
Well, we got enough evidence against them.
Yeah, we're going to need it.
2 full pages of the junk right here.
Yeah.
Look. Right next to it.
Yeah. Page from the Bible.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On January 9th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 94, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast,
King-size Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Long cigarette smokers find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima. Best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Frank Rudolph and 16 of his accomplices were tried and convicted of possessing lewd and lascivious literature for the purpose of sale. They received sentences as prescribed by law and are now serving their terms in the county jail.
Remember this Saturday, because that means Dimension X on NBC. The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. Vicious gunmen have committed assaults, robberies, attempted murders. Their victims, Army officers stationed in your city. Your job, get them.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So, enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, February 3rd. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working a night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 1:45 a.m. when we got to Highland Park Division. Booking desk. Hi, Shepard.
Hi, Friday, Ben.
Hi.
Brings you out here.
We've got one to book, Shep. You want to do the honor?
Okay. Just a minute. Well, I sharpen this pencil.
Right.
All right, Jackson. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Relax, huh?
Jerks. Okay. Yeah, let me get a new form in the machine. All right, what's your name?
Roy Jackson.
Address?
414 Alabama Street.
Age?
23.
Location of arrest?
1730 West Hill, the old Ranger Tavern.
Ranger Tavern. Time of arrest?
11:25 p.m.
Charge?
Suspicion 211 PC.
PC.
Come on. Let's get this over with.
Hey, you got lots of time. Let's check your property.
All right, Jackson. Everything out of your pockets. I'm on the desk.
What about my kids?
You won't need them for a while. Put them on the desk.
Thanks. Oh, you forgot your watch. Take it off.
All right.
Yeah, that ring, too.
Yeah.
That everything?
I'll shake him down. Yeah, that's everything.
Okay, let me list it here. 1 brown man's wallet, contents.
I'll call them off to you, huh?
Okay.
1 black pocket comb.
Comb.
Got that. 1 keychain and ring with 5 keys. Good luck charm on it.
5 keys. Good luck charm, yeah.
Let's see, there's $11.63 in cash.
11.63.
1 man's wristwatch, Waltham. 1 man's ring. You got that?
Yeah.
Yellow metal, the ring.
Ring.
With a white stone.
It's a diamond ring. That's gold.
1 man's fountain pen.
Fountain pen.
That's it.
Yeah, okay. Just put all the stuff in the envelope. Okay. Get me a booking number, will you, Jimmy? Here's a receipt for your stuff, Jackson. Itemized.
Yeah.
Here's your copy, fella.
Thank you, Chef.
Murdoch.
Yes, Sergeant?
Got one for you.
You got a slip on it?
Yeah, here.
Thanks. Let's go.
Wait a minute. You got nothing else to say, huh, Jackson?
Been yapping at me for 2 hours. I told you all I'm going to tell you.
6 robberies, 6 assaults, 3 attempted murders. It's a tough rap to stand alone. What about your pals?
You got my story.
Okay, take them.
Stubborn.
Yeah.
We better get the arrest on the teletype.
All right. What? 2 a.m. It's a long day.
Oh, it's Thad Brown coming in the door.
Yeah.
Hi, Chief.
Hi.
What are you doing out here this time of the morning?
On my way home, thought I'd drop by and call the office. Forgot something. About Jackson. Do any good?
Not much. He's got a story. He's sticking to it.
Where'd you pick him up?
Bar on Hill Street. We booked him here. It's out of the way.
Jackson finger any of the gang?
No, questioned him 2 hours.
You think you got a smoke? No.
Yeah. Here you go.
Well, let's go in this office. Sit down a minute.
It's a good idea. My feet are killing me.
Pretty hard to figure this thing.
All right?
Yeah. Thanks. Gang of cheap hoods, armed to the teeth, slugging, shooting their way around town, coming from all directions.
We got it fairly well narrowed down, and 9 out of the 10 jobs they pulled, they operated either in San Pedro, the central area, or Hollenbeck. Still haven't any idea why they pick Army officers for their victims. Jackson wouldn't tell us why.
The MO still the same? They haven't switched?
Not a bit. The hold-up men still dress as Army enlisted men. They steal a car, offer rights to officers, slug them, rob them, then shoot them. Same thing, 10 times over.
Does the Army check their personnel out at the fort?
Keeping tabs on as close as possible. I don't think it's the work of any bona fide enlisted men, though.
We'll haul out Jackson and talk to him again in the morning. Maybe he'll be ready to tell us something by then.
I'll stay after him. If you need any more men from Metropolitan to help out on this thing, let me know.
Okay, Skipper.
You better make that call and get home. Late.
Yeah.
What was it, code 3, Shep?
31st and Stafford, 211 and shooting.
Chief Brown, Ben, and I got to the scene at 2:20 a.m. An ambulance was already there, along with 2 cruiser cars and a half a dozen curious onlookers. Lying face down on the dirt road about 15 feet off Stanford Avenue was a man dressed in an Army officer's uniform. He wore first lieutenant bars. His blouse had been half ripped off, and the side of his face was bruised and swollen. The back of his head showed the results of a vicious beating. There were 2 bullet wounds in his left shoulder. A few feet away, sprawled out on his back, was a major. He'd been brutally beaten, but he was still conscious. While the ambulance attendants gave first aid, we questioned him briefly. Both bodies were lying 30 feet from the interurban railway tracks.
Feel up to telling us how it happened?
Hit me on the mouth. The gun. Can't talk too well.
No, don't try to get up, Major.
That was Lieutenant Kelly. He was with me.
He'll be okay. They're getting him in the ambulance.
We were hitchhiking downtown, Kelly and me. 2 men in the gray sedan picked us up. Said they were going back to the fort.
How were the men dressed? You remember?
Too much noise. What do you say?
Just a minute.
was that?
The PE train going by. Now, can you tell us about it?
Enlisted men. One is a tech sergeant, the other one private. He said they'd drive us back to the fort in a gray sedan, Pontiac.
Excuse me, Sergeant.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'll have to take care of those face wounds. You can go ahead.
Okay. Did you see the license number on their car?
Too dark, no. Gray sedan. Pulled guns, stopped the car here. Took our money, everything.
And so sting a little. There, it's good.
You think you'd recognize the men if you saw them again?
One was tall, 6'2", I guess. Think I know him. They shot Kelly. He tried to run. They shot him. How is he?
He's okay. Is there anything else you can tell us about the men?
Ambulance is ready.
Or take him. We can talk to him later.
All right, Rob.
Yeah.
All right, easy. Okay, let's go.
It's not getting any better.
I'd sure like to cut him up, don't they?
Pretty good set of footprints over there. Tire impressions. Better call the crime lab.
Yeah.
2 men in a gray sedan. How does that match up?
Same M.O., Army officers.
So one of the gunmen was tall. Mean anything to you?
Well, most of the other victims gave us that description. Either the same tall guy works most of the jobs, or he's got a twin brother.
The stats office make a run on the description for you?
4 different times. Nothing yet.
I'd better get this new information on the air right away.
Yeah.
They steal a different car for every job, and the morning after we find the car, usually clean, no prints.
Well, this thing doesn't add up in my book. Army officers aren't loaded with... I said Army officers aren't loaded with dough. These punks are after something else besides money.
What do you mean?
Well, for every dollar they steal, they break a bone. How does that shape up to you?
You think they like to draw blood?
I think so. I think they're pointing for murder.
What's the motive, Chief?
Oh, forget the motives. I don't care what their reason is. Somebody's robbing and shooting. It's our job to stop them. What's the trouble with motives?
How you mean?
They always show up after the murder.
2:40 a.m. The crime lab crew arrived and went to work searching the area for evidence and taking casts of the footprints and tire impressions. The chief of detectives, Ben, and I drove back to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital in time to watch the doctor remove 2 .38 caliber slugs from the shoulder of one of the victims. From his ID bracelet, he was identified as Harold Kelly, 1st Lieutenant Signal Corps, U.S. Army. The other victim was Major Richard Farmer, Signal Corps. I initialed the slugs for evidence, and then we drove back to the crime lab and dropped them off. The next morning, before they were transferred to a military hospital for further treatment, we talked with Lieutenant Kelly and Major Farmer and filled out a robbery report and one for a crime against person. At 5 minutes past 10, we checked back into robbery detail.
Better see if we can get a stenographer in here. There's a lot of paperwork to catch up on.
Yeah, I'm going to have to learn shorthand.
Well, Joe?
Yeah?
Come in a minute, will you?
Right.
Picked up a gray sedan using that job last night.
Where?
Out on Laguna, about a block from Echo Park.
They find anything?
Nothing. The boys from Leighton Fingerprints called just before you came in. They dusted the car inside out. No luck.
That Roy Jackson we picked up last night. Has homicide got the stakeout on his apartment?
Yeah. Fremont and Tetrick. Nothing yet. What'd you find out at the hospital this morning?
Well, we talked to Lieutenant Kelly and that Major Farmer again. They're still in bad shape.
You have anything to add?
No. We got their crime reports and a list of the property taken, gave it to pawn shop detail to put on the stolen property list.
What are the hold-up men doing with all the stuff they grab? Watches, cigarette cases, men's jewelry? It's all on the stolen property list. Pawn shops have been alerted. It's not showing up. Robbery, Walker. Yeah, just a minute. You, Joe.
Oh, thank you. Friday. Yelly. Yeah. It's a little meaty. Bye. Lee Jones. He just ran a make on the 2 slugs they took out of the lieutenant's shoulder.
Yeah?
They came from the same gun that wounded 4 of the other victims.
Figures. How about the footprint cast they took out there last night?
No, it didn't work out. Lee said he tried matching them up with that set of prints we came across on that job Sunday. There's no match.
Oh, hi, G.
Dad, sit down.
Thanks. Fellow man yet, Walker?
Not yet. Just getting over last night's case.
What do you got?
Walker and I were talking over this morning before you 2 checked in about these hitchhike bandit jobs.
Yeah.
Tried everything short of a blockade to grab the hold-up men. It's obvious it's not working.
How about the Army brass?
They're doing all they can already. It's up to us. We're going to need more men and better coverage.
What are you figuring on?
System decoys planted around the city and every area these hitchhike bandits have been operating in.
Gonna take a lot of men, isn't it?
Be worth it if it pays off.
About 50 or 60 men should do it. They'll be dressed as second lieutenants all the way up to colonels. They'll travel in pairs.
Mm-hmm. They're going to bunk out at the fort?
If we can arrange it, yeah.
They'll be instructed to hitchhike their way around town. Bulk of them will operate between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m.
What kind of support are they going to have?
You men in robbery and homicide. I'll have a special detail of cars from Metropolitan Unit to help cover the unprotected spots.
When does it start?
Tonight. No use waiting.
You fellas might as well pass the word down the line. No time off till the gang's locked up.
Okay.
We got to get those punks and get them fast. We got the men and the machinery, so there's no reason for not stopping them. No excuses. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me.
Robbery Walker. Oh, hello, dear.
Yeah, I know, but I can't make that.
Let's go, Joe.
A little happy. You just go right ahead and you'll have to explain to me.
Here.
What's that?
A nickel. Call yours. 8 p.m., Thursday. With the permission of the commanding general, 6th Army, a total of 55 men dressed as Army officers spread out over the city to serve as decoys for the hitchhiked bandits. They were well armed, and they traveled in pairs. For the first night, it was the plan to concentrate in the central area, Hollenbeck and San Pedro. We started cruising the central area at 8 o'clock along with the rest of the detail. The time went slow. Midnight came. Still no sign. We waited out the rest of the night and the early morning. Nothing happened. We figured on some action on the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nothing happened. Seemed like the hold-up men somehow had sensed the decoys and were staying under cover. Monday night, February the 8th, same thing all over again. 3 a.m. came and went. No sign. I'm kind of hungry. You want a hot dog? We can eat them in the car.
No, you go ahead. Maybe a bag of potato chips. You want to see if they got them?
Okay. I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Want hot dog?
One. And give me a bag of those potato chips there, too, will you please?
Okay. You want everything on that hot dog?
Everything but relish.
What's the matter? You don't like relish?
No.
Okay.
Joe, come on. Hustle.
You can skip that hot dog, Mac. What is it?
Just came in. Catch the repeat.
Attention all units. Attention all units. The vicinity of Washington, Figueroa. Shooting. Code, please. Ambulance dispatch.
Okay, hit the siren. Let's move. When we got to the scene, neither of the two victims were identified as police decoys. One of them had already been placed in the ambulance. Ben went over to talk to him. The second victim was still lying in the street, his chest riddled with bullet wounds. Two figures bent over him, an ambulance attendant and a priest.
That heavenly Jerusalem where God shall wipe away the tears from your eyes, where there shall be no more sorrow, no more sickness, no more death, where you will live forever in possession of that happiness which the eye hath not seen nor the ear hath heard, neither hath it entered into the heart of man what things God hath prepared for them that love him.
Same that up, Joe. Hitchhike game.
Yeah.
Other victim can't help us much. How about this man?
Oh, wait a minute.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen.
There's your answer.
You are listening to Dragnet, the case history of a police investigation presented in the public interest by Fatima Cigarettes.
If you smoke a long cigarette, it will be in your interest to listen to a typical case history of a Fatima smoker.
It's the case of Miss Shirley Gelman, trained nurse in the city of Los Angeles, California, and this is her actual signed statement.
Hospitals are short-handed these days, and nurses are working under pressure. I've found king-size Fatima just perfect when I'm off duty. They're extra mild, and even in the wee hours of the morning, Fatima tastes just fine. I urge all my friends to buy them. I agree, it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
And more smokers are discovering this every day. Actual figures show Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So enjoy Fatima yourself.
The long cigarette, which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make it extra mild.
You will prefer Fatima's much different, much better flavor.
You will agree.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
The best of all long cigarettes.
Wednesday, February 10th. At the inquest, the murder victim was identified as Marine Corps Lieutenant Robert Paul Lawrence, age 24. The bullets removed from the body at autopsy were taken to the crime lab where the ballistics men ran them through. They were fired from the same gun used in the previous hold-up shootings by the hitchhike bandits. The companion of the victim at the time of his murder could add little to what we already knew as far as the descriptions of the gunmen were concerned. The following morning, Ben and I drove out to the home of the murdered man to interview his father, a colonel, Marine Corps, retired.
Black wreath on the door.
Yeah. It's a big house, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir?
Police officer, sir. This is Sergeant Friday. I'm Sergeant Romero.
Oh, yes. I saw you the other day at the inquest.
Yes, sir. We hate to bother you again, but we'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yes. All right. Will you step in?
Thank you.
This way.
He was a small man, well-built, with thick snow-white hair combed straight back and a neat white mustache well-trimmed. He walked deliberately with his shoulders thrown back as he showed us into a large living room richly furnished. A picture of the Battle of Belleau Woods hung over the large fireplace. The rest of the pictures in the room were of famous Marine Corps officers.
Now, gentlemen, how can I help you?
It's about your son, Robert. We didn't want to bother you at the inquest.
Yes. I guess I don't have to tell you. Bob's death was a blow.
Yes, sir.
He's been staying here with me from time to time since my wife died last year. House this big needs people. Just myself, the wife gone.
Yes, sir. We'll only take a minute. You see, everything had been taken from your son, and we'd like to find out if you know what personal property he was carrying at the time he was...
Well, I don't know. I guess he had the usual things, a few dollars, his wallet, St. Christopher medal, silver, his watch.
Was the St. Christopher medal valuable?
Oh, not too much, no, not monetarily.
And that watch?
Well, yes, that was worth something, a pocket watch. I gave it to Robert when he was commissioned at Quantico. That's his graduation picture on the mantel. Here. This is Robert.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Fine boy, Sarge. Robert was a good Marine.
You think you could describe the watch for us?
Gold pocket watch. Cost quite a bit when I bought it for him. There's some engraving on the inside of the cover.
What is it?
Says, from an old Marine to a young one. Signed Dad.
Mm-hmm. Anything else about it, sir?
Very fine jeweler friend of mine made the watch. It has small chimes inside, and when you push the lever on the side, it chimes the hour and nearest quarter hour. Very clever.
Yes, sir, I see. And as far as you know, then, those are all the valuables he had with him.
Yes.
All right, Colonel Lawrence. Thanks very much.
Oh, you don't have to rush off. Can I fix you a cup of coffee? Stay a while, won't you?
I'm sorry, Colonel. We have to get back to the office.
Oh. Well, let me show you to the door. I hope I've been of some help to you. You're not feeling so well.
You've helped a lot, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Nice home. Yeah. Beautiful furniture. Everything a man could want.
Except the sun. For the next 6 days, we got nowhere. Both robbery and homicide details stayed at work on the case. The citywide decoy plan continued along with the extra night patrol of cruiser cars from the Metropolitan Division. Dozens of leads were received and tracked down. None of them paid off. We stayed on it, but despite all our work, in 1 week, the hitchhike bandits were credited with 16 car thefts, 8 actual holdups, and 3 more assaults with intent to commit murder. February 18th, 2 p.m. Ben and I were called to Captain Walker's office.
Close the door, will you, Ben?
Oh, yeah.
What is it, Ed?
Both of you know Burdick here, theft detail?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hi.
You want to tell him what you just told me, Burdick?
Yeah, I was just telling the captain. I was on night watch last night with Resnick, and we picked up this guy for grand theft auto. Got him out in a bowling alley on Vermont.
Yeah.
Well, Resnick and I didn't think too much about it. We took him into Central and had him booked. Gave his name as Clyde Black.
Mm-hmm.
As I say, I didn't think too much about it. But on the way into work, I got to thinking. This fellow comes pretty close to the description of one of your hitchhike bandits.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's pretty tall, 6'2", dark hair, dark eyes. Pretty tough.
He's still in jail?
Still there.
Anybody else talk to him besides you?
Resnick and me, that's all. Here's the mug shot we got on him last night. Take a look.
Let me see.
Mm-hmm. It seems pretty close. You got a home address on him?
Yeah, our place out on South Flower. Here's the number.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, there was something else. Struck me kind of funny.
What's that?
When we booked the guy in last night...
Yeah?
In his back pocket, he had a St. Christopher medal.
Ben, Ed, Burdick, and I drove out to the address on South Flower Street, which the prisoner, Clyde Black, had listed as his home address. It was a rooming house, and the landlord remembered Black, but he hadn't lived there for 2 months. He gave us Black's forwarding address, an apartment on MacArthur Drive. There, the manager told us he hadn't lived in the building for at least a month. He had moved and left no forwarding address. We put tracers through on him with DMV, our business office, and with local merchants in the neighborhoods where he had lived. By 6:30 p.m., we had an answer. An apartment on Pico Boulevard, just east of Alvarado. At 7 o'clock, we were on our way up in the elevator to the 3rd floor of the apartment house.
It's number 307. Must be down this way.
Come on.
Pretty run-down place. Must be.
Yeah. This is it, 307.
Somebody's in there.
The apartments have back doors, Joe. You want me to cover it?
Yeah, you better hustle.
Right.
Okay. Stop talking.
Yeah, what is it?
Mailman, registered letter.
Okay.
Give me. Police officer.
Move you guys. Stop.
What's up, Joe?
Yeah.
Hey, they're going out the back, Ben. Watch it.
Burdick's got him stuffed out back.
All right, you now, cut it. Let me school you.
That's one of them.
One more, Joe, here. There were 3.
All right, let's go inside. Come on.
Yeah. That's all of them. Watch them, will you, Bertie?
Yeah.
All right, let's look around, huh?
Yeah. Take a look.
Yeah, enough uniforms for an army. Before we left the apartment, we searched it thoroughly and found dozens of personal valuables, watches, rings, and wallets. There was also a .38 caliber Colt. We took the 3 men downtown and booked them at Central Jail. Then we dropped off the gun that we found at the crime lab for a ballistics check. 8:35 p.m., we brought suspect Clyde Black to the interrogation room. Captain Walker, Ben, and I confronted him with the evidence.
Here you are, Black. Take a look at these.
Well?
They're not mine.
We know that.
Never saw them before.
Watches, jewelry, wallets, they were found in your apartment, all of them.
They were.
Take a close look.
Auto theft, that's all you got me on.
Yeah.
I won them. I won the stuff in the crap game.
You must be lucky.
Crap game, I tell you. That's how I got it, in the crap game.
Why not do it easy, Black? Let's call a stenographer and get it over with.
How much evidence do you want?
I didn't do it.
I get it. Interrogation room Friday. Yeah. All of them? Fine. Thank you. The gun, Black, they checked it.
I didn't do it.
Your gun killed that Marine. Your prints are all over it.
It was one of the other guys, Max. Max, it was him. Him and Johnny.
You ready to dictate a statement?
Put them on the file. Why me? You talk to Max. Talk to Johnny.
Ed, hand me that, will you?
Yeah.
Here. Thanks. We got this watch out of your apartment, too, Black. Where'd you get this?
Which?
This one right here, the pocket watch.
I don't know.
Don't tell us you won it in the crap game.
It's not mine. I never saw it before.
It's a beautiful watch. It's engraving on the inside cover.
Yeah, look here. From an old Marine to a young one.
It's not mine.
Let me show you how it works. Push this lever here, see, on the side? Now, how about it?
I hated them. I hated all of them. Everything about them. That lieutenant. I had to kill him. He was going to get away. I had to kill him. I had to.
Why'd you pick on officers?
They had it coming. Pushing guys around. I hated them. I hated every lousy bone in their bodies.
I'll get the stenographer.
Yeah. Then knock off and go home. You too, Ben.
I had to kill him. I hated him. I'll tell them that. I'll tell them like I told you, just like I told you.
Yeah, they'll believe you, mister.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On June 17th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, king-size Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor, and aroma.
Long cigarette smokers find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima, best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Clyde Black and the other 4 members of the Hitchhike Bandit gang were tried and convicted in Superior Court on 1 count of murder and several counts of robbery and assault with intent to commit murder. All 5 are now serving life terms in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet from Los Angeles.
You're tuned for the stars on NBC.